The number 10 XDAs, whatever you want to call it, the Boonville Lumberjacks are trying to avoid it tonight, coming into this game against the Amsterdam Mohawks on a 9-game losing streak, looking to stop it right there and make sure it doesn't extend to 10. I'm Evan Simbita alongside Brady Foxwell here for this PGCBL matchup, and Brady, they don't get more crucial than this.
I mean, I feel like you can say that about the last couple of games they've played. Obviously, Amsterdam's going to be a big test. They had quite a few options to win a game over the last 10 that they've ended up dropping. Yesterday, good opportunity against Utica, but the bats haven't come alive, and well, they got a tough task when they're facing an Auburn University pitcher, Mason McCrane. Obviously, we'll see a bit more of him in the bottom half of the first inning, but I'm more concerned about what Lo Wenxing's start looks like. Does he even pitch as a starting pitcher? What's his position going to look like? Should be an interesting 2 hours, 3 hours of baseball.
It should be, definitely. This is Lo Wenxing's first start in this PGCBL summer. He's been out of relief in every game before this one, but with a lack of arms here in this one, it's going to have to be Lo Wenxing who comes out, and he's going to have to give the Lumberjacks a lot of innings here in this one with a depleted bullpen. We know there's a couple of position players that have to come in and pitch here today, but we'll have to see who that will be later on in this game.
Yeah, I'm excited to see if Zeb Swingham ends up taking the mound, if Seth Bischoff takes the mound, or ultimately who it ends up being. It should be pretty interesting.
Hopefully Wenxing can get a lot on the arm. We know he hasn't really gone too deep into many games so far during this season, and coming into this game doesn't have the strongest stats to back them up. Coming in, he's got a 9.88 ERA and 10 appearances with just over 13 innings pitched, 17 runs, 15 of them earned, 19 hits, and 17 walks for the Taiwanese right-hander, and the first batter he has to face will be Andrew Ezel coming out of Stetson.
Yeah, that'll obviously be a tough task for him. This entire Amsterdam team is absolutely loaded. This is their first time coming here to Hanson Aggregates Field in Boonville, but his job will get really difficult as Andrew Ezel out of Stetson. He is an all-star. He's one of 8 named on the Amsterdam Mohawks team. In comparison, the Lumberjacks only have 2.
Yeah, leading the league with those 8 all-star selections, as here comes the first pitch on Ezel. Swings and hits this one high to the infield. Underneath this one is the first baseman, Beatty, on the foul line, who makes the catch as Ezel darts out of the way, but it's 1 pitch, 1 out for Lo Wenxing.
We'll take that any day of the week. You get a tough out, first pitch. Literally the best possible start to the game. Carson Beatty dealing with the sun, and that's another concern that I have, Evan, is that the sun plays a factor. This Lumberjacks defense, the outfield is great. The infield kind of cost them the game yesterday. I wonder how they bounce back today.
Yeah, a couple errors in that game last night against Utica. They were 3 on the infield, specifically on Devon Abaga. As the next batter, Aiden Dill. Here comes the first pitch. Fastball up high, 4-1. And the defense has been an issue we see every day, at least for the home games before they come out here. They're taking grounders in the infield, just trying to get used to this Hanson Aggregates dirt. It's very rough and very coarse. We see balls bounce up and down as here's the second pitch. Swung on and hit into right field. Underneath this one is Noah Reed, though. Looks up into the sun and makes the catch for out number 2, and that brings up Taylor Belza.
Yeah, Dill hit that one pretty well. Didn't quite get all of it, but on a liner, I'm impressed by Noah Reed in right field, able to see that ball through the sun. Dill, you can bookmark him as yet another all-star on this Amsterdam team. There's quite a few of them.
Yeah, it seems like almost every name on this lineup card you're going to see in the all-star selections. Obviously, no game for the PGCBL. They took that away a couple years ago, but still the selections hold a lot of weight.
Gotta bring that back, man.
Next batter is Taylor Belza. First pitch is in the dirt from Xing and bounces behind Oliver Lawrence. 1-0 the count.
And Evan, while we're talking about the All-Star game, you know, it's the All-Star weekend in MLB coming up. Today's day 1 of the festivities. Kanias Davis on the Boonville Lumberjacks side. He is playing in about 10 minutes in Citizens Bank Park in the HBCU Swingman Classic.
Yeah, Boonville's own taking it on in Philadelphia. That will be later on MLB Network as here comes the 1-0. Swung on high down the third baseline, out of play. Count moves to 1-1, and that's going to be an exciting one. We've heard a lot about this. This is something that the players on this team are excited about, and certainly Kanias was very excited about.
100%. He'll be representing the National League. It's Ken Griffey Jr.'s event. He'll have, I believe it's Jimmy Rollins as his head coach. An incredibly exciting event. We'll keep you updated on his performance throughout the game as well, because it's just exciting for everyone, man.
1-1 the count on Belza. Here's the next pitch. That one in the dirt skips away near the feet, and the count moves to 2-1. Obviously, with Davis away in Philadelphia, that means he won't be in the lineup card for today and probably tomorrow in Oneonta. That's going to be an away game. So it is a big loss for this Boonville team, but with the 9-game losing streak, they just need to find a way to pick it up, and next man up mentality, as here comes the 2-1 on Belza. Takes that one up high for ball 3, 3-1 the count now.
I mean, all things considered, I think that's a trade that everybody on the Lumberjacks would make. You let your guy have the time of his life in Philadelphia. He got crazy amounts of Nike-sponsored gear. He got 4 new pairs of cleats. Kanias Davis, everyone on the team is proud of him. It's truly an awesome experience for him.
3-1 on Belza. Swung on and hit high. This one going to be into center field. Bronx Lewis underneath it moves to the left a little bit and makes the catch. So 3 pop-outs in the first inning, but ultimately a 1-2-3 for Lo Wen Xing. He does his job as the Lumberjacks come to the plate on the other side of the break. We'll have that for you on the Lumberjacks Sports Network after this. Devon Abaga out here to start this bottom of the first inning for the Boonville Lumberjacks. Evan Sabita alongside Brady Foxwell here on the Lumberjacks Sports Network. And it's Abaga who had multiple errors in that game last night. Ultimately didn't necessarily cost them that game, but did make it a lot harder for them in a low-scoring contest to come back and win that one. As here comes the first pitch from McCrane. Swings and fouls that one into the dirt. 0-1 the count. But
Evan, what he also did is he went big fly yesterday. He hit a homer, so sure, he wasn't fantastic in the field, but he left the yard. He earned it back offensively, and that's why I like him in the leadoff position today. Maybe he can get things going against a tough arm in Mason McCrane. So, I mean, defensively, you got a goldfish memory, as you say, Evan. Focus on the future and try to go back to hitting bombs.
Yeah, did have that long shot last night. That one off the bat. Everyone knew it was gone as here comes the 1-0. Swings and hits this one right down the first base line, but just gets barely foul. And it's just going to be a long strike. 0-2 the count on Abaga. But it was a good hit for him. We know a lot of the extra base hits he has this year have been doubles. That was half of them. It's 4 of his 8 now, but he's got triples and homers to add on in the last couple games. It's been a strong run of play at the plate, and that's exactly what this team has needed. The bats have been pretty cold, second lowest average in the PGCBL. As here comes the 0-2. That one in there for a called third strike on Ibaga, who can't get the bat off the shoulder in 3 pitches, goes down looking, and that brings up Elijah Negron, the third baseman.
Number 4, Eli Negron.
So 1 batter, 1 strikeout for McCrane brings up Negron, who also played in that game last night.
McCrane doesn't seem to pitch all that often. He only has 4.2 innings pitched across 4 total appearances, kind of like a reliever in that time he's been successful.
Negron hits this first one down the first baseline, but that one just rolls foul as well. 0-1 the count. Negron in that game last night had a triple. It could have been an inside the park home run, but timing a little bit off out of the box. Had a fly out as well in that game and a single. Couldn't get an RBI though, however. Did come around to score off of that triple, but runs were at a premium in that game last night. This here's the 0-1. Up high on Negron. He ducks out of the way, and the count moves to 1-1. Obviously, it was a 4-2 final score last night in Utica. That one was a defensive contest through and through, as here comes the 1-1. Curveball taken up high, 2-1 the count. And I know we both certainly got interesting looks at that game. You were behind the plate at the radar gun, and I was over at first base as the first base coach.
Yeah, you were killing it, man.
Thank you.
Some people say you're the best first base coach they've ever seen.
I would hope so. As here's the 2-1, taken on the outside corner, but a ball, 3-1. And, you know, I did tell Coach I'm retiring from coaching last night. Got to know when to get out. I'm going out on top. One performance, it's the best it's going to get.
Yeah, hopefully I get to don the Lumberjack gear tomorrow in Oneonta. Have to beat your performance.
3-1 on Negron is taken up high, and he draws the 5-pitch walk, so 1 early runner on for the DH, Masai Marshall.
Now up to bat number 28, Masai Marshall.
So it's Marshall, another returner from last night's game, had 2 strikeouts and a ground out in 3 at-bats. Not the most productive day for him, but has been good on the year, reaching base safely in 11 of the 15 games this year. Couldn't do it against Amsterdam, played in the second matchup between these two teams, but ultimately couldn't get a hit in that one. McCrane stares at the runner before delivering. First pitch is down low for ball 1. Marshall has struck out in 10 of his 15 games played this year. He had 2 last night. That's been his primary struggle, with 16 strikeouts in 16 games played, but has been trying to calm that down lately. We know a couple of his last games he's gone without the strikeout, which has been big for him. A couple doubles in that Utica game as well, the doubleheader a couple days prior. Has McCrane ready for the 1-0. Here's the pitch. Swings and misses on that one on the outside corner, and it's 1 ball, 1 strike.
Yeah, striking out just about 40% of the time on the year, which obviously isn't ideal, but again, it's just summer ball for everyone. I assume he'll figure it out. Right now is a good opportunity, and even though he strikes out a decent amount, he still gets on base at a pretty good clip.
Here comes the 1-1, taken up high yet again. 2 balls, 1 strike, the count now on Masai Marshall.
377 on base percentage. That is about team average for the Lumberjacks. So, I mean, I'm not really complaining. His OPS would also be above team average, so I still consider him to be one of the better bats in the lineup. Obviously, swinging a wood bat is unorthodox to everyone on the team, so there's a little bit of grace for everyone.
Here comes the 2-1. Swings and misses on that one, way in front of home plate in the dirt, and the count all even now. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
I got to say, that swing right there doesn't have me feeling very excited, as that one was about a 55-footer, and he swung through it like it was a fastball. He's got to make an adjustment if he wants to stay alive at the plate.
Has struck out in 8 of his last 12 games, with 13 total Ks in the streak. That's been the Achilles heel, but with a runner on, has to do something here. Choking up on the bat for this 2-2 pitch. Stepping off, and Negron sliding back in head first. It looks like he was going to steal that bag right there, but in there safely.
Yeah, that's a good move. I don't know if he was going to steal. He might have, or he was just taking an aggressive lead, but thankfully Negron quick enough to get back in time, or that would not have been great for the Lumberjacks.
So still 2-2 on Marshall, who's very choked up on the bat here, just trying to get some contact. Here comes the pitch. Swings and misses through that one, and he strikes out yet again. 3 strikeouts in his last 4 plate appearances now for Marshall, and it brings up Bronx Lewis.
Yeah, it's Colin Glenn behind the plate with the radar gun. Saw him tapping his grim and with a 1-2 CG. That's 91 coming from McCrane, the lefty. That's difficult to hit, especially with that wipeout off speed that got Masai Marshall for his second strike.
Well, here comes the lefty weapon, Bronx Lewis, hoping to combat the lefty out on the mound. Ready for the first delivery. Looks over at the runner on first, and McCrane steps off, throws back, but Negron in there standing.
Who is the first base coach today?
That's going to be Jihad Guy. Utility player Jihad Guy, right fielder and second baseman. He's been playing at second base a lot as of late, not his position by trade, as here comes the first pitch on Lewis. Takes that one up high, clips the top part of the zone for strike 1.
Yeah, looks like a first pitch changeup right there. He's got a deep mix, and each pitch seems to play at this level. Bronx Lewis, this is a competitive at-bat for him for a guy who's looking to play in pro ball.
Here comes the next pitch. Swings and misses through that one. Fastball right down the middle, and he couldn't catch up, and 0-2 the count now. Lewis hasn't played since the second game of the Utica doubleheader. He had 1 hit and 2 strikeouts in that game. Had the same stat line in the first. As here comes the 0-2 from McCrane. That one taken way up high, and it gets away from the catcher Belza, running to second, and in there standing is Elijah Negron. So 1 runner in scoring position, still 2 outs with a 1-2 count here on Bronx Lewis.
Yeah, I think Negron was faking the steal there, but because the ball went back to the backstop, he was able to take the extra 90 feet. That's clutch for Lumberjacks. They have the opportunity to take the lead here. Bronx Lewis just has to not go down via strikeout as Abaga and Marshall already have.
So runner in scoring position, good RBI opportunity for Bronx Lewis, who only has 3 coming into today on the season. Here's the next pitch. Checks on that one, but it gets away from Belza yet again, and running to third is Elijah Negron. So he's taken 2 bags and 2 pitches. That one looked more like a passed ball than a wild pitch, but regardless, 2-2 the count on Lewis with another great opportunity for him. We know he likes to hit the single. 80% of his 5 hits have been singles so far this season. Just needs to poke one through here, and he can give the Lumberjacks a 1-0 lead. Here's the 2-2. Takes that one in the dirt. It gets away from Belza yet again. Running home and getting there safely is Elijah Negron, and Boonville takes a 1-0 lead here in the bottom of the first inning. Didn't even need to do too much on it either. Just 3 straight balls that got past the catcher Belza.
Just how they drew it up, I gotta imagine. Negron works a tough at-bat, gets a 5-pitch walk, steals second on a pass ball, steals third on a wild pitch, steals home on a wild pitch. Hey, by any means necessary, at least the Lumberjacks take the lead. It'll be a competitive game, you gotta assume, or at least the Lumberjacks will try and keep it that way. So any run they can take early is gonna be huge for this offense.
Payoff pitch looming on Bronx Lewis. Here it comes. That one nearly hits him in the head, and he has to duck out of the way, but a second walk of the inning surrendered by McCrane, and there's another runner on first with 2 outs for Zeb Swangham.
Now batting number 2.
And it's surprising to see this, especially from this battery. Taylor Belza, an Auburn catcher, and McCrane, the pitcher, also from Auburn. These are 2 teammates very familiar with each other and just not on the same wavelength out there.
Yeah, I've been doing my prep for today. I feel like everybody on the team is from Auburn or playing some form of high competitive baseball. That chemistry is going to be crazy.
First pitch on Swangham is in there for a called strike. 0-1 the count on the shortstop for today. We've seen Swangham flip-flop between third and short. Last night in the Utica game, played at third base, but taking a step to his right for tonight. Here's the 0-1. That one inside on him, gets away from Belza yet again. Lewis breaks for second, and he's in there safely. So another wild pitch, pass ball, whatever you call it, a free 90 feet there for Bronx Lewis.
Looks like they're playing the Lumberjacks, I gotta say.
So,
well, I mean, Amsterdam's coming into the day losing their last game. I mean, I'm not saying that's very much considering the Lumberjacks have lost their last 9, but, I mean, hey, no one's playing their best baseball coming into the day.
Here comes the 1-1 to Swangham. That one down low in the dirt, 2-1 the count, and Amsterdam have had a lot of days off coming into this game. Their last one on July 7th against Saugerties. They did have a game against the Troy Haymakers that was not a PGCBL game, but still an exhibition, as here comes the 2-1. Up high yet again, 3-1 the count. So they've had a lot of rest to prepare for this game, but have not come out of the gates very hot.
Yeah, I mean, any competitive advantage that the Lumberjacks can get, they will obviously take. And Zeb Swingham's now ahead of the count. There's a real opportunity to drive in yet another run right here.
So 3-1 now the count on Swingham, who's got 6 walks on the year. That one in the dirt, and he draws number 7, so runners on first and second. 3 walks surrendered by McCrane in this first inning and brings up Ian Farber.
Just keep passing the stick, man. I got nothing else to say other than just try and stay alive. I have no issues with that. What I do see, though, and this might have been the strategy coming in for the Mohawks, was the potential opener for Grant Nicholson, who I do see warming up in the bullpen. That might have been their strategy for today, was to have McCrane go 1 inning, or we might see Nicholson come in even earlier.
So it's Farber, who had a grand slam a couple days ago. First pitch on him is not in there. It's just outside for ball 1. He also had a ball that he hit last night, absolutely pieced it to the warning track, was about 3 feet away from a homer, but ultimately came up just short. I think that would have been way gone here at Hanson Aggregates, as here's the 1-0. Swings and misses on that one. But he's been showing the power as of late. He started all of the last 4 games, and he's really becoming a trusted bat for head coach Christian Griffin.
Yeah, hopefully he did a few push-ups since that Utica game, because that truly was warning track pop right there. And you mentioned it, the grand slam. And the way he's swinging, it looks like he's trying to grab 3 more runs for the Lumberjacks.
1-1, he swings through that one, and the count quickly 1 ball, 2 strikes now on Farber. 6'5", 210 out of Niagara County Community College. Here's the 1-2. Takes that one right down the middle, and that is a called 3rd strike on Farber. So 3 walks, 3 strikeouts the first inning for McCrane, but the Lumberjacks take a 1-0 lead heading into the second. We'll be right back after this on the Boonville Radio Network. So Lo Wen-Shing out here for inning number 2 of action. The first batter he will face is Gabriel Rivera, the 3rd baseman. Stands in from the right side. Rivera has played Boonville in both of their previous matchups. He's got 5 at-bats, 2 hits, including a double and 1 RBI. Here comes the first pitch. That one way up high, curveball gets away from Shin and doesn't even hit the mitt of Lawrence. That one straight to the backstop, and the count 1 ball, no strikes. Rivera comes into this game batting just under 400. Got over a 500 on-base percentage. He's been effective at the plate. As here's the 1-0. Swung on high to the backstop. That one just misses the broadcast booth, and the count moves to 1-1.
Yeah, Rivera, obviously, with the way he's been hitting the ball, of course, he's going to get the All-Star nod as well. Looking at the Lumberjack side, behind the backstop, literally, is Michael Clarkson. He was an All-Star on the Lumberjack side. He's not playing today, and pitcher Jackson Baptist isn't even with us.
1-1 is in there for a called strike. The curveball clips the top of the zone on Rivera, and the count moves to 1 ball, 2 strikes now.
The Lumberjacks playing against at least 5 All-Stars on the Amsterdam side have 0 playing for them.
Here comes the 1-2. Swung on and hit to the backstop yet again.
Is that the camera? Nope, not.
No, all good. So the count moves to 1 ball, 2 strikes. Stays at 1 ball, 2 strikes, I should say. Ball finds its way to Devon Abaga over at second base, and they have to get it back to Shing. Rivera looking to get on base. Here comes the 1-2. That one down low in the dirt, skips away from Lawrence yet again, and the count moves to 2-2.
You know, a cool thing that I like about Lo Wensheng pitching is that he probably doesn't know the caliber of these hitters. I mean, obviously there's got to be some scouting taken into place, but he doesn't know what it means to play at Auburn or play at Alabama. Some guys might pitch with actual fear in their hearts. I don't believe he's doing that at all today.
So here's the 2-2. Swung on and hit to the left side. Abaga gets that one, nags it out of the air, and throws it over to Beatty for out number 1. So 4 straight retired for Lo Wensheng. Next batter he faces is Robert Mello. And Brady, we know that this is no easy hitter. 7 home runs on the year for Mello. He's been one of the best hitters on this Amsterdam team, certainly in the power department. Has led the PGCBL in home runs for just about a month now. And stands in, awaiting the first pitch from Shing. Here it comes. Fastball way outside. 1 ball, no strikes.
Yeah, the entire Amsterdam team has been hitting homers. They've already surpassed their franchise record of home runs hit in the season, and they've 3 weeks left to play baseball. God knows how many more they'll add to that. Hopefully no more today.
Here's the 1-0. That one down low in the dirt, gets away from Lawrence yet again, and the count runs to 2 balls, no strikes. Mello doesn't have any homers against the Lumberjacks this season, just has 3 hits, including 2 doubles and 3 RBIs in 7 total plate appearances against Boonville this year. Does have 1 lone strikeout as well, but more likely to draw the walk here in this one. Here comes the 2-0. Checks on that one up high, but does not go on it, just twisting the hips, and the count moves to 3-0. Shing got to be careful not to get his first base runner of the day, but definitely aware of the power of Robert Mello. Just pitching around him right here. 3-0 the count. Here it is. That one in there for a called strike. Count moves to 3-1. And Mello, for all that power, not just a power hitter, also batting .452 with a .510 on base percentage. Effective in all areas of the game, as here comes the 3-1. Down low in the dirt, and he draws the 5-pitch walk right there. So Mello on first. That's the first base runner allowed by Lo Wensheng of the day, and brings up Anthony DeCesare. Might have been a strategic walk right there just to avoid the power, especially in a stadium like this. So Mello on first, 1 out here for DeCesare. Here comes, back pick from Shing. That one bounces in the dirt and gets away from Beatty, but does not roll too far. Able to collect it and throw it back to his pitcher. That walk right there was Mello's 11th of the year. Teams definitely respect the power and like to pitch around him. Seems like that was the case right there. So here's the first pitch on to Cesare. Fastball up high, 1 ball, no strikes the count. Cesare, another good hitter on this Amsterdam team, batting just over 300 with 7 home runs as well on the season. Pick back from Shing is not in time. Beatty picks this one up on a fly, though, and throws it back. Cesare, another guy with a great on-base percentage, .464. It's got 17 walks to add on to 26 hits and 86 at-bats this season, as here's the 1-0. Taken up high yet again for ball 2. Still no movement in the Boonville bullpen. We know that this isn't going to be the longest appearance for Lo Wensheng, as he is a reliever. Hasn't started a game in this PGCBL season. As here comes the 2-0. Swung on and hit up the middle. This one going to get into center field, though, as Bronx Lewis comes in on it to pick it up, but the runners will just advance 1 base each. Mello to second, Cesare to first. It's a 1-out single right there.
Yeah, good piece of hitting right there. Extends the lead, or excuse me, extends the runner's lead. He now moves to second. You have 2 on and only 1 out with McCrane coming up, who's one of the better hitters out of Auburn. I guess the entire team is one of the better hitters, of course, but now Lo Wensheng is in a pretty bad situation.
So it's McCrane up now, then Evan Taylor, Tyler Figueroa, and James Houghton lining out the 9-man lineup for this Amsterdam Mohawk team. First got to deal with McCrane, however, one of the best college hitters that this team has. As here's the first pitch. Takes off speed in there for a called strike. McCrane was 5th in on-base percentage and 4th in OPS last year for Auburn. Had one of the best college seasons number-wise in anyone in the PGCBL, and that was in the SEC as a redshirt freshman. Came out of Alabama as the 4th-ranked third base in the 2025 classes. Here's the first pitch, swung on and hit to the right side, and that one's going to get through for a hit. Going around third and scoring is Mello, and cutting off the score is... Oh, and he kicked it into center field. The runner right there, it was DeCesare sliding into second base, and not sure what happened, but it's a one-out single right there, and it's 1-1, all tied up. So next batter up is Evan Taylor. It's going to be the left fielder coming in and standing in from the right side with a runner on first and second. Here's the first pitch. Curveball taken inside for ball 1. Still 1 out here in this top of the second inning. It's runners on first and second. 1 ball, no strikes, the count on Evan Taylor. Freshman out of Alabama, another SEC product right here. Here comes the 1-0. Swung on and missed. Went through that one, and count moves to 1-1. Taylor did play in the exhibition game against the Troy Haymakers just a couple days ago. Had 4 at-bats, including a sac fly and 1 strikeout. Shing ready for the 1-1. Here it is. That one down low in the dirt. Lawrence does pick that one, though, and prevents what could have been free 90 for both runners out there, and they both stay at first and second. So the count moves to 2 balls, 1 strike. Taylor's only played in 7 games for this team so far this year. Reported late from Alabama. As here comes the 2-1. Swung on and hit high back behind the plate. Lawrence is underneath it, but Negron calls that one and will make the catch for out number 2. Both runners stay stranded where they are, and it brings up Tyler Figueroa. Figueroa, another ACC player on this team, Wake Forest. We know they like to recruit in pairs. Of course, a couple pitchers on the Wake Forest side, but Figueroa, one of the only hitters, transferring from Appalachian State. Going into his junior year out of Colony, New York. Stands in from the right side with 2 runners on, 2 outs here in this top of the second. Here's the first pitch. Curveball in there for a called strike, and 0-1 the count. Figueroa's played in both games against the Lumberjacks this season. He's got only 3 at-bats, but 1 double and 2 walks, as well as 2 strikeouts. True 3 outcome player. This here's the 0-1. Swings and hits this one high into left field. Back on this one is Hagan. That one is going to go off the wall. Picked up by Lewis, and that's going to be a 2-run double. Gunning for home is the runner Taylor, and he's in there safely as Lawrence drops it. Figueroa thinks about going to third base, but ultimately elects to stay on second, and it's going to be a 3-1 lead for the Amsterdam Mohawks. Taylor certainly gave that one a ride. That one could have been gone, but hits just off of the middle of these 10-foot walls that we have here at Hanson Aggregates, and instead it's 3-1. He's over on second, still 2 outs here for James Houghton. Houghton, the last man in this 9-man lineup. First couple times these 2 teams faced off, it was 10 men in the lineup for the Mohawks, but just 9 as the season gets to the business end here. Here comes the 0-1. Taken up high, fastball for ball 1. Houghton, another guy who's played in both of the Lumberjack games so far this season. He's played in the pinch hitting role, though, with 1 hit, which was a double, and 2 RBIs. Here's the 1-0 from Shing. That one taken on the outside corner for strike 1. 1-1 the count after the off speed is in there. So it's Mello and DeCesare who have scored already in this inning, along with McCrane, who popped out, and Rivera, who grounded out. 2 outs here with a runner on second. Next pitch is in there for a called strike. Houghton thought about going around on that one, but ultimately did not. And now is down to his last strike here. Doesn't want to leave Figueroa stranded out there at second base. Wenxing just trying to get through this inning. Here comes the 1-2. Swung on and hit down the third base line. That one's going to get out of play for a foul ball. Count moves to 1-2. So Xing picks up a new ball here. It's Houghton, who stands in from the right side, is a left-handed fielder, but playing shortstop here today. Here's the next pitch. That one in the dirt. It gets away from Lawrence, and gunning for second there is Figueroa. He's going to be in there safely, going second to third, and another runner on in scoring position with 2 outs. Xing wants another new baseball here, and they'll get one. 2-2 the count on Houghton here. 2 outs, top of the second inning. It's Figueroa over on third. Here's the pitch. Swung on and hit high into left field. This one is going to be catchable for Haig, who's underneath it, and makes the grab for out number 3, but not before 3 runs get up on the board for the Amsterdam Mohawks. They take the lead going into the bottom of the second inning. We'll be right back on the Lumberjacks Sports Network after this. Lumberjacks trying to fight back here in this bottom of the second inning. It's Noah Reed tasked with starting the rally off for this Lumberjack team. Just surrendered 3 runs in that top of the second, but now trying to get back into it. It's still Mason McCrane out on the mound for the Mohawks. Here's the first pitch. Taken in there, fastball for a called strike. And that 1-0 lead that Boonville took in the bottom of the first inning was the first lead that they have had over the Mohawks this entire year. Only 2 games played for these two teams, but has been a struggle for Boonville, as here's the 0-1. Taken down low for ball 1, that fastball misses. And it hasn't been easy for Boonville, particularly because they've been mercy ruled twice against this team. It was a little bit slightly better in the last matchup. Only a 10-run deficit instead of 15 as the first was, as here's the 1-1. Swung on and hit off the catcher's glove. That one going to be a strike, though. 1-2 the count now. So slight improvements between those 2 games, but those both have been played away for the Lumberjacks. This their first home game against Amsterdam this year. First time they've seen McCrane as well. He's ahead 1-2. Here's the pitch. That one inside, and that's a called third strike. Noah Reed thought that one was going to hit him in the arm, but instead has to walk back to the dugout, and that's strikeout number 4 on the day for McCrane. third one looking already, and that brings up Carson Beatty, the first baseman. I think Reed thought that one was a lot more inside than it actually was, and brings up the first baseman who had a single and walk last night against Utica. Here's the first pitch. Swings through that one. 0-1 the count. Beatty, despite his 6'5", 240 frame, is more of a slap hitter. We know he is a powerful hitter, but really prefers to just hit the single. He's got 5 hits this year, all of them singles, as the next pitch in the dirt gets away from Belza, but 1-1 the count now. Didn't have a hit in the last game. Played against Amsterdam, had 3 at-bats, 1 strikeout, and a ground out. So here comes the 1-1. Taken way away, and 2-1 the count now. Beatty has been improving as of late, though. 5 hits in his last 8 games, including reaching base safely in 8 of the last 10. He's been on a tear as of late. Just looking to get a base runner here against McCrane in this bottom of the second inning. Here comes the 2-1. That one just down low for ball 3, so 3-1 on Beatty, who does like to draw the walk. He's got 8 walks in 10 games this year, including 3 in his last 4. Was able to work one last night against Utica. Looking to get on here. The 3-1. Swung on and hit high into left field. This one very high, and underneath it is the left fielder Taylor. He makes the catch just about 10 feet in front of the warning track, and that is out number 2. So that brings up the Australian left fielder Harrison Haig, who also played in last night's game. Had a single in that 9th inning. Ultimately would be stranded at third after a error by the first baseman Tomei would allow him to get there. It was a error that Wyatt Lassiter got 2 bags off of, but ultimately they couldn't capitalize in that 9th inning. Here's the first pitch. Swung on and missed way out in front of that off speed. And the count moves to 0-1 on Haig. Sac fly represents Haig's only RBI so far this year. This year's the 0-1. Swings and hits this one high into shallow right field. Coming in and making the catch is the right fielder Ezel, and that will do it. 1-2-3 here in this bottom of the second inning. Amsterdam still on top 3-1. We head to the top of the third right after this short break. So Andrew Ezel, who started this game off, back out in the box already to start this top of the third inning. It was a 3-run top of the second for Amsterdam last time out, but now it's Ezel who flew out his first time up. And there again, here's the first pitch. That one gets away from Lawrence. Fastball couldn't be handled by him, and 1 ball, no strikes the count. Lo Wen-Shing, the reliever, still in this game. It's already 34 pitches on that right arm of the Taiwanese pitcher. But head coach Christian Griffin needs more out of him. Here comes the 1-0. That one on the outside corner for a called strike. 1-1 the count. There is still no movement in the Boonville bullpen. Lo Wen-Shing, despite not being a starter, is given quite a long leash in this one and needs to get through a lot of this game if the Lumberjacks want to even have a chance at this one. Here comes the 1-1. Swung on and hit to the left side. Picked up by Negron. Long throw is in time and quick to Beatty, who gets him for out number 1. Quick reaction time right there from Elijah Negron on the hot corner to get him, and that brings up Aiden Dill. The center fielder flew out to right his first time up in what was a 1-2-3 top of the first for the Amsterdam Mohawks. Looking to get on base. We know that's something he does quite a lot, batting with a .400 average and a .513 on base percentage. Here's the first pitch. Shows bunt, but pulls back on it. That one way outside for ball 1. Negron had to run in on that one just in case. Dill, a big power hitter as well. 5 homers and nearly 30 RBIs on the season for him. Showing bunt here, however. The 1-0 is down low in the dirt. Doesn't show bunt on that one, but the count moves to 2-0. Dill out of Seton Hall struggled over there with just a 151 average and 93 at-bats. Only 2 extra base hits and 93 at-bats. Here comes the 2-0. That one in there for a called strike. Shing clicks the inside corner, and the count moves to 2-1. Has definitely recovered from what was a little bit of a rough season, though, at Seton Hall, though. .400 average. Does lead the team in strikeouts, but also leads it in walks. Here's the 2-1. Swings and hits this one foul down the first base line, and the count moves to 2-2. Shing still with no strikeouts here in this game. We know that's not his primary weapon of choice. Coming into the game, only has 8 on the season in 10 appearances. He's a big contact guy. That's where the bread and butter is for the Taiwanese right-hander. He's been forcing that early as he's got Aiden Dill 2-2 here. He's ready. Here's the pitch. Swung on and hit to the right side. Skips up in the dirt, but Abaga's got it at second. Throw over to Beatty is in time. And 2 ground outs to start this top of the 3rd inning. And it brings up Taylor Belza, the catcher.
Up to bat, number 6, Taylor Belza.
So 5-3 and 4-3 to start this inning. And now it's Belza who flew out to center to end the top of the 1st inning for the Mohawks. Belza struggled a little bit behind the dish in that bottom of the 1st inning. Had a couple passed balls and a couple more wild pitches. Ultimately, it did allow the runner Elijah Negron to score in that inning. As here's the first pitch. Swung on, takes a big hack on that one, but just barely gets a piece of it. 0-1 the count. Belza has seen Boonville one time in this season. It was the 2nd game that these 2 teams have played. Had a single with 2 RBIs, 2 walks, and 2 groundouts. Here comes the 0-1 from Wen-Shing. Swung on and missed way out in front of that one, and he's got him down 0-2 here. Belza doesn't strike out too much. He's only got 5 Ks in 49 at-bats this season. But Wen-Shing, who doesn't get the punch out too often, has got him down. Stands in from the left side. Here it comes. Swung on and hit down the first base line, but that one going to get into the alley and foul. Count remains at 0-2 for Belza, who hit .212 at Auburn in his freshman year. Got limited playing time, only 33 at-bats, but made the most of them. 2 homers as well to add on to that. He's got 4 in this PGCBL summer as well. Here comes the 0-2. That one in there for a called third strike, and Belza goes down looking to end the top of the third inning. Low-end Shane gets his first strikeout of the day and his second 1-2-3 inning of this matchup. It's still 3-1 Amsterdam, however, heading to the bottom of the third. We'll be right back after this. Oliver Lawrence out here, the rookie catcher, to start this bottom of the third inning for the Lumberjacks, still trailing 3-1 in this one, looking to get something going against the Amsterdam Mohawks, who they haven't taken down yet this season. It's Oliver Lawrence, who hasn't seen the Mohawks in any action, was on the bench for the second game, wasn't with the Lumberjacks for the first game, standing in against Mason McCrane. Here's the first pitch. That one taken up high, fastball for ball one. It's McCrane, who's faced 9 batters through his first 2 innings, only surrendering 1 run. Fired that first one outside for ball one. Here's the next pitch. Taken in there, fastball for called strike one. It's 1-1 the count on Lawrence, who got his first RBI of the season last night in a sac fly against Utica. Here's the next pitch. 1-1 in there for called strike two, and Lawrence still hasn't gotten the bat off the shoulder. He's been swinging it well, though, the last couple games. He's got 2 extra base hits in his last 3 games, both of them doubles, including one against Utica in the second game, the doubleheader here. Here's the 1-2. Taken away, 2-2 the count. He's got hits in 4 out of his 6 games this season and 3 walks to add on to it. Effective for the freshman going to Merrimack. Here comes the 2-2 from McCrane. Checks on that one, but it's up high. Holds up, and the count runs full now. Lawrence still hasn't needed to swing the bat in this one, but he's already got McCrane to fire off 5 pitches. Mind games from the rookie catcher, as here comes the payoff pitch. Swings and fouls that one to the backstop and forces pitch number 7 of this at-bat. Lawrence didn't walk in the last game. Last that he played was July 8th against Glens Falls. As here's the next pitch. Swings and hits this one to shortstop. This one picked up and thrown off the bag. They'll say safe. The first baseman, Mello, had to go off the bag for the throw from the shortstop, Houghton, and it's going to be an infield single right there for Oliver Lawrence. He keeps the bat hot right there with the 5th hit of the season in just 7 games for the catcher, and it brings up Devon Abaga. So Lawrence gets things started. It's the first hit that McCrane has allowed here today. And it brings up Abaga, who struck out looking in his first plate appearance. pick back by McCrane is not in time. Lawrence late to react to that one, but still in there standing. Zabaga at the plate now, who's mixed in hitting and pitching so far this year. Here's the first pitch. Swung on and missed out in front of that one, and the count moves to 0-1. Last time he pitched was in the Utica doubleheader, Game 1. That was 3 innings pitched and 5 earned runs for the Seattle native. Here comes the 0-1. That one taken up high for ball 1, so 1-1 the count now. Last game that he hit in was a different Utica game back on July 6th. That was 2 strikeouts and a flyout for the second baseman. Here's the next pitch, taken inside. 2-1 the count on him now. He's on a 2-game hit streak, both of them extra base hits, including a home run last night against Utica. The 2-1. Swung on and hit high, but that one backing out of play, and the count all even now, 2 balls, 2 strikes. He's got 7 extra base hits on the season. That's been the majority of his hits. Just got 9, only 2 singles. So here comes the 2-2. Taken inside, that one gets away from the catcher Belza, but Lawrence stays put, and the count runs full. So Abaga trying to work something here. He's only got 1 walk in his last 8 games. Not the primary way that he gets on base, but would love to draw one right here and just pass the stick to Elijah Negron, who's on deck. Here's the 3-2. Curveball taken way up high on Abaga, and that will be ball 4. So 2 lengthy at-bats to start this inning for McCrane. It was a 7-pitch single right there to Oliver Lawrence, and then a 6-pitch walk to Abaga. It brings up Elijah Negron now. So Lawrence at second, Abaga over at first. Still no outs here for Negron. Negron did play in that Utica game last night, had a triple and a single, as well as pitching against Glens Falls, had 3 shutout innings despite not pitching in a game since his junior year of high school. First pitch is in there for a called strike. Asked him today if he was going to be pitching in this one, and he said the arm needs 1 more day of rest, so probably will see him out of the bullpen tomorrow in Oneonta. Certainly if he continues to look shutout, he'll continue featuring for this Lumberjack team. The 0-1 on the way. Swing and a miss on that one, and the count moves to 0-2. McCrane set his first 4 outs by strikeout. Hasn't had one since. Looking to add number 5 on the day right here for Negron. Here's the next pitch. Checks on that one, but it's right down the middle for a called third strike, and that is strikeout number 5 on the day for McCrane. First of the day for Negron, and it brings up Masai Marshall.
Batting for the Lumberjacks, number 28, Masai Marshall.
Already 4 of these strikeouts looking by the Lumberjacks. They haven't been able to get the bat off the shoulder, and it's Masai Marshall who had the lone swinging strikeout up at the plate right now. Marshall coming into this game batting .238 on the season. So here comes the first pitch. Curveball taken way up high. Belza has to stand up to grab that one, and the count moves to 1-0. Marshall has reached base safely in 11 of his 15 games played this year. Looking to extend that streak here tonight. Here's the 1-0. That one taken in there on the outside corner for a called strike. 1-1 the count on Marshall, who leads the team in hit by pitches this year with 5. His last one came in that Glens Falls game back on July 8th. As here comes the 1-1. That one taken in there for a called strike, quickly down 1-2. Got to be careful not to leave the bat on the shoulder for another strikeout. Would be number 6 for the Auburn pitcher Mason McCrane. Here's the 1-2. Swings and just gets a piece of that one, fouls it to the backstop, and the count remains 1-2. Marshall this season has played in 16 games. He struck out in 11 of them, including the one in the first inning of this matchup. Choking up on the bat now, trying to get some contact. McCrane set. Here's the pitch. Taken up high, fastball misses, and the count moves to 2-2. So he's had to expend 5 or more pitches in every at-bat to start this inning. Runners on first and second, just 1 out for this Lumberjack team, looking to tack more runs on and regain the lead. He's ready for the 2-2. Here it comes. Curveball taken in there for a called third strike, and that is strikeout number 2 of the day for Marshall, 6 on the day for McCrane, and it brings up Bronx Lewis. That curveball just hit that top part of the zone, and already 2 strikeouts in this inning for the Auburn right-hander. So it's Bronx Lewis up now, who walked in his first plate appearance. Takes that one in there for a called strike. 5 looking Ks to start this game for this Lumberjack team. Got to start swinging the bat, as here's the 0-1. That one down low in the dirt. Belza stops it, though. 1-1 the count. Lewis, another one of the position players that has had to come and pitch for this Lumberjack team. Had an inning against Utica on July 6th. As here comes the 1-1. Takes that one in there for a called strike, too. Another pitch that these Lumberjack hitters just can't seem to read. It's been the off-speed primarily that they've been looking at. Curveball and slider are the 2 that McCrane likes to rely on. Here's the 1-2. Swing and a miss. He got him right there. And 3 strikeouts in a row for Mason McCrane, and what looked like a 3rd inning rally for this Lumberjack team. It's strikeout number 7 on the day, and the score remains 3-1, Amsterdam on top. We'll be right back for the top of the 4th inning after this. .45 pitches for Lo Wen-Shing through 3 innings of work. He's back out here for number 4, and it's Gabriel Rivera, the first batter. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss on that off-speed away. Rivera couldn't find any contact with this one, and he's quickly down 0-1. Rivera grounded out to second base to start the top of the 2nd inning, where Amsterdam would ultimately score 3. As here's the next pitch. Swung on and hit right up the middle. That one finds the center field grass, and that's going to be a single for Gabriel Rivera right there to lead off this 4th inning. It brings up Robert Mello, the first baseman. So it's Mello, who walked in his first plate appearance today against Shing. Looking for more success right now. The University of Delaware commit. Here's the first pitch on the lefty. That one hits him on the foot. That's going to be a hit by pitch right there from Lo Wen Shing. So not a great start to this top of the fourth inning. There's still no movement in the Boonville bullpen. It's Wen Shing, whose arm they're going to trust.
Number 30, Anthony DeCesare.
And not a position that he's really been in this Lumberjack squad so far this season. Hasn't started a single game. This is his first, but he's been making pretty good work out of what is the best lineup in the PGCBL. Here's the first pitch on DeCesare as both runners go. Lawrence ultimately holds up, and both runners advance. Rivera goes to third base. Mello goes to second, and already two runners in scoring position for DeCesare. 1-0 the count on him as well as that ball misses away. It's DeCesare who had a single and ultimately would score in the top of the second inning. Here comes the 1-0. Swings and hits this one high down the left field line, but that one getting foul and out of play. Haig was giving that one chase, but ultimately, if that was fair, it would have been gone, but just gets to the left of that foul pole. 330 down the line in left field. And lucky to not surrender 3 runs right here. New lease on life for Wen Shing. Here's the 1-1. Checks on that one, but it's in there for a called strike. Holds up on the swing, but 1-2 the count regardless. DeCesare, another one of the league leaders in home runs, along with Robert Mello. He's got 7 for 26 RBIs. Down 1-2 here. The pitch. Checks on that one, but just outside, and 2-2 the count now. Cesare, in his freshman year over at the University of Delaware, had a .317 average with 7 home runs in that season as well. Almost got the same number of at-bats already in the PGCBL as he did during his time at Delaware. As Shing called time right there, he's ready for the 2-2 on DeCesare. Here it comes. Swings and hits this one into left field down the line, but that one fair yet again. Hits right in front of the Amsterdam bullpen. And it's another one right there that probably would have been 2 RBIs for DeCesare if that's fair. But luckily for him, just gets foul. There's going to be a meeting at the mound here between Lawrence and Lo Wen Shing. Trying to discuss the plan of attack. They've got Anthony DeCesare 2-2 here as it's a runner on second and third. Mello at second, Rivera at third. And got to be careful here not to surrender any more runs. He's done a great job of keeping it close. This is by far the best start of any Lumberjack starter against Amsterdam so far this season. And he's got to keep it very tight right here to keep that lead at 2. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Swung on and hit up the middle. That one's going to find some grass, and coming home is Rivera. Mello rounds third. He is going to score as Lewis can't pick that one up in time, and it's a 2-run single right there for Anthony DeCesare. RBIs number 27 and 28 on the year, and he clears the bases for Brandon McCrane. Already his second single of the day, and adds 2 RBI onto that as well. It's McCrane up now, who singled in his first plate appearance. Would ultimately come around to score in that top of the second inning. Here's the first pitch from Shing. That one down low in the dirt. Gets away from Lawrence, but it hops right in front of home plate, so he gets on top of it and throws it back to his pitcher. 1-0 the count. It's Brandon McCrane, whose brother Mason is out on the mound. Started this game and has worked 3 innings of 1-run ball. No movement in the Amsterdam bullpen as well. It'll probably be him back out for the bottom of the fourth. As here comes the next pitch. Swung on and hit into right field. This is going to go for quite a while as Reed looks up, and it is off the wall. Running around second and Going to third is going to be DeCesare as the throw to second not in time on McCrane. He's going to be in there with a stand-up double. DeCesare couldn't quite come home despite getting the sign to move there from his third base coach. And instead, it's two more runners in scoring position for Evan Taylor. So already Rivera and Mello scoring in this inning. It's DeCesare over on third and McCrane at second for Evan Taylor, the left fielder out of Alabama. He popped up to third, ultimately in a ball that would roll foul in the top of the second inning, would be out number 2. But he's got a crucial RBI opportunity here with two runners in scoring position, no outs. Here's the first pitch. That one down low in the dirt, almost gets away from Lawrence, was lucky to get a glove to it and keeps it in front of him. So the count 1-0 as there's going to be another meeting at the mound between these two players. It's Lo Wen-Shing and Oliver Lawrence. Little bit of a language barrier out there as Lawrence grew up in the U.S. and Lo Wen-Shing from Taiwan. I was talking to him last night in the dugout. It seems like he's picked up a decent amount of English, enough to hold a conversation, but certainly there have been some issues this year with the language barrier. Hoping it's all right here as it's 1-0 count on Evan Taylor, the freshman from Cherry Hill, New Jersey. The 1-0 takes that one just down low, curveball for ball 2. Taylor wasn't present with the Mohawks for both of the previous matchups against Boonville. This is his first taste of the Lumberjacks this year with just one bat. He's 0 for 1. Infield's in for this 2-0 pitch as he fouls it to the backstop. 2-1 the count. It's Beatty over on first who's the most pinched in, but then Abaga, Zeb Swangham, and the third baseman Elijah Negron, on the infield dirt. Here's the next pitch. Swung on and hit into left field. This one's going to get down. That's a fair ball. One run scores as two come around to score as well. Taylor hustles to second, and he's in there with a stand-up double. Two more RBI on that one for the left fielder, and that takes this score all the way up to 7-1. Amsterdam on top of Boonville by 6. And it brings up Tyler Figueroa.
Up to bat for the Mohawks, number 0, Tyler Figueroa.
Here's the first pitch on Figueroa. Swings and misses through that one. He's down 0-1, but still no outs here in this inning. It's Evan Taylor on second, who had that 2 RBI double just a moment ago. And Tyler Figueroa at the plate now, who's already 1 for 1 with the double of his own. Here's the next pitch. Takes that one up high for ball 1. Figueroa from Colony, New York. That's right outside of Albany. Not unfamiliar with the central New York landscape, and he's been making Amsterdam his home this summer. Here comes the 1-1. Swings and hits this one high to the first baseman Beatty, but that one's going to get foul and out of play. He's been very comfortable in the central New York area. He's been showing it with a 358 average and a 465 on base percentage. Been getting on base like it's no problem. Already has a double in this one, as it's a 1-2 count on him here. The pitch, as the runner goes from second, throw from Lawrence is kept in the glove. Didn't elect to throw that one, just wants to save the potential run from going home. We know it's been a little bit of an issue defensively, especially at that catcher position. It's been 2 runners in this game that he's had to hold the ball in the glove for, and ultimately a runner on third. No outs here for Figueroa. The 1-2. Swung on and hit down the left side, but this one gets fouled to the Amsterdam dugout. Wen-Shing still hunting for his first out of this inning. Already 4 runs have come around with another runner on third. And Wenqing just hasn't been able to put a hitter away. He's ready for the 2-2. Here it is. Swings and hits this one into shallow center field. Lewis coming in on it. He makes the catch, but tagging from third is Taylor. He's going to be in there safely as the ball skips up off of the dirt down that third base line, and that moves to score to 8-1. Amsterdam on top in this one. Lo Wenqing finally gets an out, however. That's out number 1 of this inning, and the base is clear now for James Houghton.
James Houghton.
So RBI number 3 on the day for Figueroa already, and it brings up Houghton, who would fly out to end that top of the second inning. It's been a surprise to see Wenqing not get through these batters as well, as here comes the first offering. Swung on and hit to the backstop, 0-1 the count. It was 2 1-2-3 innings that bookended a 3-run top of the second for Amsterdam. Wenqing was able to set down the 1-2-3 part of the order consecutive times up in that top of the first and top of the third inning, but he has really struggled with the bottom of the order. It's Houghton, the number 10 hitter, who's down 0-1. Here's the pitch. Taken down low, 1-1 the count. Houghton from Rhode Island University didn't play in this last collegiate season. Here's the 1-1. Swings and hits this one softly to the first baseman, Beatty. He'll tag the bag himself for out number 2. And Houghton is down for the second time today, but it doesn't get easier as the lineup flips over. It's Andrew Ezell, the leadoff right fielder, up now.
Number 8, Andrew Ezell.
So finally, 2 outs for Lo Wenqing, and consecutive batter brings up Ezell, who's already 0 for 2 on the day. Fly out and a ground out represent his contributions so far in this one. Ezell ready for the first pitch. Here it comes. Taken down low in the dirt for ball 1. Ezell, a sophomore out of DeLand, Florida. Not like a lot of Amsterdam players, but he is long ways from home. The 1-0. Swung on and hit foul down that left side. That one finds chain link fence, and the count moves to 1-1. Ezell did play in the exhibition against the Troy Haymakers 2 days ago. Had a RBI single and a hit by pitch. Here's the 1-1. Taken down low in the dirt. 2-1 the count on Qing, who has really struggled to get through this inning. There's finally some movement in the Boonville bullpen, as this is probably going to be it. Inning number 4 of work for Lo Wenqing. You know, he came into this inning with 45 pitches in 3 innings. Has certainly expended a lot more here. The 2-1 is swung on and hit to the left side. That one gets by Elijah Negron. That's Seb Swangham, diving for that one. And he couldn't quite get there. So a single of the first of the day for Andrew Ezell, and that brings up Aiden Dill. So Wenqing already faced 8 batters here in this inning. It's Aiden Dill, who is 0 for 2 on the day. Stands in from the left side. Runner goes from first as he shows bunt, but that one hits him straight in the foot. Has to toss the bat over towards the Amsterdam dugout, as that one, certainly a stinger. Angrily unwraps the batting gloves as he takes his free base. Not happy with that one, however, and it brings up Taylor Belza. First time on base for Dill in this game, however, as Ezell moves over to second. So still some danger here with 2 outs for Lo Wenqing. Looks like it's going to be his inning to finish no matter what here. First pitch on Belza as Shing steps off, threatens to throw back to second, but doesn't. Boonville dugout likes that move. They tell it to him out on the mound. But Wen Shing just trying to shake off the pressure of having these runners on, one of them in scoring position. Here's the first delivery. Swung on and hit high, back and out of play. Count moves to 0-1 here on Belza, who is playing catcher here today. 0 for 2 in this one with a looking strikeout as well as a fly out to center field. He's got a .388 average heading into this game. It's uncharacteristic of the backstop as the 0-1 bounces in the dirt. 1-1 the count. It's been a frustrating inning for Lo Wen Shing. This top of the fourth inning, the longest he's gone in a game so far this season, and certainly has looked a little bit like that here, just struggling with the endurance to get through this Amsterdam lineup. To his credit, though, the best start that the Lumberjacks have gotten through 3 innings. As here's the next delivery. That one dropped in there, off speed for strike 2. And only surrendering 3 runs through 3 innings is just about as good as you could ask for against what is the best lineup in this PGCBL. It's still 1-2 on Belza. When Shing kicks and fires as that one in the dirt gets away from Lawrence and both runners advance. That one a slider that ultimately hit the dirt right in front of home plate, and it's going to be 2-2 now. Belza with a .500 on base percentage coming into this game. 19 hits, 10 walks, just 5 strikeouts. He's got the fewest of any qualified hitter on this team, but hasn't gotten on base in this one. Here's the 2-2. Swing and a miss. He got him right there. Off speed in the dirt. And Lo Wen Shing with his second K of the day finally ends the inning, but not before he has to face 10 batters and ultimately surrenders 5 runs in this one. Amsterdam take a 7-run lead. It's 8-1 here, heading into the bottom of the 4th inning. We'll be right back on the Lumberjacks Sports Network after this. One half of the McCrane brothers duo is done for the day. It's Mason McCrane who got through 3 innings of work with just 1 earned run, 3 walks, and 1 hit. for the pitcher, as well as 7 strikeouts, with 5 of them looking. But it's a new pitcher out on the mound. It's Grant Nicholson for the Mohawks. Leads this team in strikeouts with 28. He's got 6 games played, 4 of them starts with 16 innings pitched, 6.75 ERA with 15 runs, 12 of them earned, for 17 walks as well on the year. First batter he faces is Zeb Swangham. Ready for the first delivery. Here it comes. That one down low in the dirt. Different look for this Lumberjack team. It was a lefty McCrane out on the mound to start this game, but now a righty out there in Nicholson. Here's the 1-0. Down low in the dirt yet again. 2-0 the count now. It's Swangham, who walked in his first plate appearance. He's been walking a lot as of late, on base safely in 13 of 14 games. The 2-0 swung on and hit up the middle, but right at the shortstop. A nice grab right there from Houghton, and that is out number 1 and brings up Ian Farber.
Now up to bat number 31, Ian Farber.
So Swangham finally does break up a 3 strikeouts in a row streak right there, but is still an out as it brings up Ian Farber. Nicholson kicks and fires. That one way outside, off speed, misses, and 1-0 the count. Farber in his first plate appearance struck out looking, like most of this Boonville lineup. He's ahead 1-0. Here's the pitch. Fastball taken outside yet again, 2-0 the count. Farber played in that game last night, had a grounded into a double play and had a ball at the warning track. So here's the 2-0. Swung on and hit up the middle. This one right to the second baseman, however. Oh, and he loses it. Dropped it on the ground, and Farber beats it out. Figueroa couldn't get a handle on it. And ultimately, it's going to be an error right there on the second baseman. So Farber safe at first, the first base runner since a walk from Davana Baga. And ultimately, what is much needed for a Boonville team that is down by 7 runs in this one. So it's Noah Reed up now, who went down looking his first time up. Only took 3 pitches for Reed to go down, but got an opportunity here with a runner, Ian Farber, on first. The first pitch on Reed. Taken up high, fastball for ball 1. Reed does strike out a lot, but as of late, he's been swinging the bat just about as well as anyone else in this Boonville lineup. As here comes the 1-0. Swings and hits this one back and out of play for strike 1. 1-1 the count. But as I was saying, Reed has been on base in 5 of the last 6 games. He's got hits in 4 of his last 5, including 8 hits in total in the streak. He's been getting on base just about as well as anyone else. As here comes the 1-1. Swung on and hit right to the shortstop. Picked up, but Houghton loses it again. It's going to be safe at second and safe at first. Noah Reed beats that one out yet again. And it's 2 straight errors to start this inning for the Amsterdam Mohawks. 2 players that completely dropped the ball out there on the field. It was Figueroa at second, Houghton at short on that one. And it's allowed the Lumberjacks to get on base. First and second now. It's Reed on first, Farber on second. 1 out for the first baseman, Carson Beatty. Stares down Nicholson, awaiting that first pitch. Here it comes. Curveball way outside in the other batter's box. The catcher Belza has to reach for that one, and the count moves to 1-0. Beatty in his first plate appearance flew out to left field. Hasn't been a big fly ball hitter this year, as here's the 1-0. Swung on and hit on a line to left, backing up on this one, and that one hits off the wall. The left fielder, Taylor, couldn't get to it, as rounding third and scoring is Farber, but a throw at the plate. It's going to be safe at the plate. The catcher, Belza, can't believe it as that throw beat Farber by a mile, but the Lumberjacks will take it. It's 2-8 here. They're starting to claw back in this one, and it's an RBI single right there for Carson Beatty.
Now batting number 18.
A good throw right there from the left fielder, Taylor, and the shortstop, Houghton, but ultimately the tag not applied correctly by Belza, and a safe call right there. So still runners on first and second. It's Beatty at first, Noah Reed on second for the Australian left fielder, Harrison Haig. The defense has not been supporting Nicholson as well as he would have hoped. As here comes the first pitch. Swung on and hit to the left side. Houghton's got this one, throws over to second for one, and not in time for the double play. They get him over at first as Mello snags it out of the air. Certainly looked to be a close play right there, but the twin killing ends the inning for the Lumberjacks. They leave 2 on as Harrison Haig grounds into a double play, but they do plate 1. It's 8-2 Amsterdam heading into this 5th inning here on the Boonville Sports Network. We'll be right back after this. Lo Wen-Shing is done. He comes in and does a job in the first 4 innings of this game. 2 hits allowed for the Taiwanese pitcher, but ultimately 8 earned runs. And Amsterdam with a 6-run lead here in this one. The new pitcher out on the mound is the right-hander from Penn State Beaver. It's Matthew Helmer Jr. Enters the game with a 20.25 ERA in 6 games played, just over 5 innings pitched with 13 runs, 12 of them earned, including 9 hits and 11 walks, just 4 strikeouts for the right-hander. And the first batter he faces in this one is going to be Gabriel Rivera, the third baseman.
Now batting for the Amsterdam Mohawks, number 29, Gabriel Rivera.
So Rivera, who grounded out in his first plate appearance and singled in the second, up now yet again. Came into the game with nearly a 400 batting average, but has certainly reached that now, as here's the first offering. In there for a called strike. Rivera leads this team in RBIs with 38 on the year. Hasn't been able to grab one yet, as here's the 0-1. Swung on and hit to the left side. This one picked up by Negron. Long throw is in time to Beatty, and that is out number 1 in this inning. It's been crucial. The Lumberjacks have gotten the first batter out in all but 1 of the innings. So far here tonight, it was just the batter Rivera in that last inning, the 4th, who led it off with the single. That's been the only time they haven't been able to get the first man out. And now here comes Robert Mello, the home run king of the PGCBL. Here's the first pitch. Swings and misses through that one. Takes a big hack at that, but ultimately it's an 0-1 count. It's Mello who has walked and was hit by a pitch in his last at-bat. Here's the 0-1, taken outside for ball 1. Mello and his teammate Anthony DeCesare, who's on deck, lead the PGCBL in homers with 7. The 1-1 taken way outside. The catcher Lawrence has to stand up for that one, and the count moves to 2-1. Mello, not just a power hitter, however, .452 average with a .510 on base percentage. Here's the 2-1. Swings and hits this one high into left field. This one's shallow, though. Coming in on this one is Haig, and he goes to his right to make the catch for out number 2. So the first 2 down in this 5th inning brings up Anthony DeCesare, the other power hitter in this lineup.
Number 30, Anthony DeCesare.
DeCesare already 2 for 2 on the day, 2 singles, and that's brought him 2 RBI as well. DeCesare has been hitting well against the Lumberjacks. 5 total hits on the season. As here's the first offering. That one hits him in the lead shoulder. Luckily an off speed for him, but it's a hit by pitch right there for Matthew Helmer. First runner on in the inning for him, and it brings up Brandon McCrane.
Up to bat, number 10, Brandon McCrane.
Just the second hit by pitch of the day for this Boonville team, and brings up McCrane, who had a RBI double in his last plate appearance. Also had a single in his first. He scored 2 runs so far today. Redshirt freshman out of Auburn. Here's the first pitch. Takes that one down the middle for strike 1. McCrane only played in the second game of the Boonville Lumberjacks and Amsterdam Mohawks series. Had a RBI single with 2 walks and a flyout as the pick back from Helmer not in time. Interesting move right there from Helmer, who was barely even set, but ultimately tried to get DeCesare over at first. Can't do so, and now he's got to face McCrane. The 0-1 down low in the dirt. McCrane and his brother Mason both played for Auburn. Obviously, Mason started this game and went 3 innings, but Brandon, the only McCrane left. This here's the 1-1 behind his back. Lawrence has to stand up and snag that one, and the count moves to 2-1. McCrane did play in the exhibition against the Troy Haymakers, had a hit, an RBI, 2 walks as well. The 2-1, swing and a miss, way out in front of that off speed, and the count all even now, 2 balls, 2 strikes. McCrane doesn't strike out too much. He's got 7 Ks in 10 total games played. He's 2 for 2 here today. It's a hard out for Helmer, but it would be a crucial one if he can get it to end this top of the 5th inning. He's ready for the 2-2. Here it comes. And that one inside on him. The curveball misses, and the count all full now. The runner DeCesare will be going from first on this pitch, as there's 2 outs, full count here in this top of the 5th inning. Just the lone runner DeCesare out on first. Here's the payoff pitch. Swung on and hit high into center field. Going to his right is Bronx Lewis at the wall, and that one bounces off the wall. Rounding third and scoring is DeCesare as McCrane hustling for third. Throw to the cutoff, swing him, and it is not in time. He's in there safe, sliding head first at third, and it's a RBI triple for Brandon McCrane. He extends this lead to 9-2. Amsterdam on top by 7.
3, Evan Taylor.
So one of the only triples that we've seen at Hanson Aggregates here this season. Not a lot of alleys here in this ballpark, but it looked like it was a little bit of miscommunication between Bronx Lewis and Noah Reed, the center and right fielder, as they're still talking to each other out there, trying to make sure they've got the communication down. But regardless, it's the left fielder Evan Taylor with a runner on third, 2 outs. Here's the first offering. Swung on and hit high into left field. Haig takes a step back but comes in on this one and makes the catch for out number 3. Matthew Helmer keeps it clean for the most part, just that one lone run, and leaves the runner stranded at third. It's 9-2 Amsterdam heading into this bottom of the 6th inning. We'll be right back on the Boonville Sports Network after this. Oliver Lawrence, the first batter here in this bottom of the 5th inning. Here's the first offering from Nicholson. That one in the dirt gets away from Belza, 4-1. It's Lawrence who had an infield single in his first plate appearance today. Back up now for this bottom of the 5th inning. Here's the next delivery. Swing and miss on that one. Count moves to 1-1. Lawrence hasn't played against Amsterdam so far this year. This is first taste of the Mohawks. The 1-1. Swung on and hit into shallow right field over, and making the catch on this one is the second baseman Figueroa. Just reaches out the glove on that one and gets him for out number 1. So the lineup flips over and it's Devon Abaga. It's Nicholson still out there for the Mohawks, who had 2 errors go against him in that bottom of the 4th inning. Ultimately would surrender that run and just 1 hit. Here's the first delivery on Abaga. That one down low in the dirt, gets away from Belza, but no runners on. It doesn't matter. 1-0 the count. Abaga so far today has struck out looking and walked. He's been looking to avoid the K, but couldn't do so in the first inning. Here's the 1-0. Swung on and hit down the first base line. That one's going to be a fair ball, picked up by Mello, and he'll tag the bag himself for out number 2. So 2 quick outs for Nicholson here, brings up Elijah Negron.
Now batting for the Lumberjacks, number 4, Eli Negron.
So it's Negron who walked in the bottom of the 1st inning and would ultimately come around to score on 2 wild pitches and a pass ball, and struck out looking in the 3rd. Here's the first pitch from Nicholson, swung on to the left side, but just foul and out of play. Picked up by head coach Christian Griffin down on that 3rd baseline, and the count moves to 0-1. Negron was this season's first and only A-Town Bats hitter of the week with 3 homers and 7 RBIs, including 5 hits and 10 ABs. So here's the 0-1. Curveball in there for a taken strike 2. Grown, one of those home runs did come against Amsterdam. That was away, though. Solo shot over the left field wall. Here's the 0-2. That one way inside. Negron moves out of the way, and the count 1-2 now. Did play in the Utica game last night. Had a single and a triple. Ultimately would score a run, but couldn't bat any in from behind the dish. Nicholson ready for the 1-2. That one down low in the dirt. 2-2 the count now as Bells of the catcher can't find it. Thrown back by the home plate umpire, and the count all even now, 2-2. 2 outs here in this bottom of the 5th inning. There's still no runners on. It's been Oliver Lawrence who popped out and Devon Ibaga who grounded out. Negron looking to start a 2-out rally. Here comes the 2-2. Takes in inside yet again. That one runs in on Negron, and he's got another avenue for a potential walk right here. Walked in the 1st inning, struck out in his 2nd appearance in the 3rd inning, looking to just put the bat on the ball right here. The 3-2. Swung on and hit to the backstop. That one would have been right at our broadcast booth, but instead is saved by the fence, and the count remains full. Negron, a .228 hitter coming into today. 13 hits with 12 walks in 57 at-bats. Here comes the 3-2. Checks that one on the outside corner. Did he go? No, he did not. So a 7-pitch walk right there for Elijah Negron, first base runner of the inning, and it brings up Masai Marshall.
Now batting number 28, Masai Marshall.
Just the 4th walk allowed all day by the Amsterdams, 2 of them to Elijah Negron, and it brings up Marshall, who is struck out twice so far today, 1 swinging, 1 looking. And bats with a runner on first, 2 outs here in this bottom of the 5th inning. Nicholson ready for the first delivery. Here it comes. Taken up high, fastball for ball 1. Marshall, a 6'3", 195 outfielder out of Northwestern University. We haven't seen him play the field too much yet this season, but has been playing the DH role quite effectively. The 1-0 on the way. Swings and fouls that one to the backstop, and the count moves to 1-1. Marshall just putting the bat on the ball here, looking to drive up that pitch count on Nicholson. Lumberjacks are still in this game. We've seen them go down by many runs early on in games, especially here at Hanson Aggregates, and ultimately come back and at least make the games competitive. It's a 7-run deficit here as the 1-1 on the way by Nicholson. That one above the head, and that one gets away from Belza, never even touched the glove, and Eli Negron goes to second yet again, so that's the 4th time today that Negron has been able to advance on a wild pitch. Just something about that Eli Negron presence out there on the base paths that has been making these pitchers get a little bit wild. And the count ultimately 2-1 on Masai Marshall right here. Marshall's reached base safely in 11 of his 15 games played so far this season, looking to make that 12 right here. The 2-1. Swung on and hit high into left field. Back on this one is Taylor. He looks up, and it is out of here. Masai Marshall with a 2-run shot here in the bottom of the 5th inning, and he just makes the Lumberjacks crawl a little bit closer. It's 9-4 here in the bottom of the 5th inning. And Marshall gets his first home run of the year. 3 doubles, 2 triples, but that's the first long ball of Marshall's Lumberjack career. And it's a big one. Battled back after striking out the first 2 times in this game.
Now
Paves the way for a 2-run shot right there, and it's Bronx Lewis at the plate now. First pitch is swung on and hit high, very high down the first base line, but this one going to get out of play. Hits off the top of the maintenance shed down there, and the count moves to 0-1 on Lewis, who has struck out and walked so far today. Stands in from the left side, facing a righty now instead of the lefty McCrane who started. Here's the 1-0 from Nicholson. Swing and a miss way out in front of that one that was in the dirt, and the count moves to 0-2. Lewis with 15 Ks in 13 games played so far this season. Looking to avoid another one right here. The 0-2. Taken outside for ball 1. 1-2 the count now on Lewis. He's got 2 hits in his last 2 games. Here's the 1-2. That one hits him in the back. And Lewis just eats the 1-2 right there. Gets it on first, and the 2-out rally continues for the Lumberjacks. Now it's Zeb Swangam.
Number 2, Zeb Swangam.
So it was ultimately a walk by Elijah Negron, then a 2-run homer by Masai Marshall, and now a hit by pitch by Bronx Lewis. 3 straight batters on with 2 outs, and it paves the way for Zeb Swangam. Meeting at the mound here with the infield, the pitching coach, and the pitcher, Grant Nicholson. Still 2 outs, however. Does have to face Swangam. If it goes any further, it would be Ian Farber, then Noah Reed, and Carson Beatty. Home plate umpire going to go out there and break this one up as head coach Christian Griffin talks to Beatty down that third base line. Swangam against Amsterdam has 5 at-bats in 2 games played, including a hit, a walk, and 3 strikeouts. All 3 of those strikeouts came in the first game. Was able to go 1 for 2 with a single and a walk in the second game. But ultimately, both of those games were only 7 innings long. This one looking a lot more competitive, even though we're through 5. We'll have to see who comes out to pitch in this next inning as well. See where this one goes. Nicholson, here's the first pitch. Down low in the dirt. Belza stops it with the glove, though, and the count moves to 1-0. Swangam's been on base safely in 12 of his last 13 games. That includes a walk here in the first inning of this game. He's ahead 1-0 here. Picked back by Nicholson, not in time, as Bronx Lewis sliding back in there head first. Swangam's had hits in 6 of his last 7 games. Hasn't been able to find one here today, but a good opportunity with a runner on first. The 1-0. Swung on and hit high, and that one's going to get back and out of play. So a long strike right there for Swangam. The count moves to 1-1 now. Swangam also still looking for that first multi-hit game of the season. He's had 14, but none of them have come on the same day. Another pick back by Nicholson, not in time. Mello throws the ball back. And the count remains 1-1 on Swangam. Nicholson ready for the 1-1. Here it comes. Swung on and hit high to the infield. Underneath this one is the third baseman, Rivera, ranging into foul territory and makes the catch. had to lunge at that one as it took a little bit of a dip back into fair territory at the end of its run, but ultimately does make the catch, and that will end the inning. Not before Masai Marshall gets a 2-run shot up on the board, though, to cut the lead to 5 runs. It's 9-4 Amsterdam heading into the 6th inning. Be right back on the Lumberjacks Sports Network after this. Matthew Helmer back out there for inning number 2 of work against this Mohawks lineup. First batter he faces is the second baseman Tyler Figueroa. Figueroa stands in from the right side. Here's the first pitch. That one down low in the dirt. Fastball misses, and the count 1 ball, no strikes. Figueroa so far in this game has doubled and had a sac fly. A productive 3 RBI day for the second baseman, as here's the next pitch. Curveball taken inside, 2 balls, no strikes. Figueroa going to play baseball at Wake Forest in the ACC next season, transferring from Appalachian State. Here's the next pitch. That one, a curveball that clips the inside part of the zone, and the count moves to 2-1. Figueroa pinch hit in that Troy Haymakers exhibition 2 days ago. Had 1 fly out, and that was it. Here's the next one. Up high, curveball misses, and the count moves to 3-1. He's had just 1 lone hit against the Lumberjacks this season coming into today. Followed that up with a second double. He's got 2 now against Boonville. The 3-1. Swung on and hit right to Devon Abaga, who has to dive on top of that one, but the throw accurate and on time to Carson Beatty and gets him for out number 1. That brings up the shortstop, James Houghton.
Up to bat number 15, James Houghton.
It's Houghton, who's 0 for 2 on the day. Fly out and a ground out so far for him. Stands in from the left side, a left-handed hitter, right-handed fielder, starting at short today. First pitch is in there for a called strike. Last action he saw was a pinch hit appearance against Socrates 3 days ago. Had 1 at-bat and 1 strikeout. Here's the 0-1. Swung on and hit right to the right side, but that one going to get through. Carson Beatty could have picked up that one, but then couldn't have covered the bag, and ultimately a single right there for Houghton. So first time he's been on so far today, and the lineup flips over again. It's the 4th time around already for the Mohawks lineup, and it's Andrew Ezel, the right fielder, at the plate now. Singled in his last plate appearance, but also has grounded out and flown out so far tonight. Sophomore out of Stetson, a Division I school in the ASUN Conference. Here's the first pitch. He shows bunt, that one behind the plate, however. Lawrence couldn't find it. That was because it was at the backstop, and the count moves to 0-1. Ezel came into the game batting .455. It's just 1 for 3 on the day. And facing Matthew Helmer here. Here's the next pitch. Swung on and hit foul. This one off of his leg. And the count moves to 0-2. So Helmer knocking on the door of his first strikeout right here. Came into today with 4 in 6 appearances. Would love another one right here. The 0-2. Down low in the dirt. Lawrence gets on top of it though, and the count moves to 1-2. Receives the sign from his third base coach as the count moves to 1-2. Pick back at the runner, not in time. Houghton dives back in there safely. The 1-2 on the way. Taken outside and up high for ball 2, and the runner running over to second base. I think that was called a balk right there. So a balk on Helmer, not the first that we've seen so far this season. He doesn't really come set in his delivery, just kind of fires it right away. Saw one in his last appearance against Mohawk Valley, and another one right there. So Houghton over at second, the 1-2 on the way. Swung on and hit high and out of play. Count remains 1-2. That's been one of the issues for Helmer. We've seen it for quite a while. It hasn't really produced too many balks until really the last 2 appearances for him. Those have been the only 2 on the season. Here comes the 1-2. That one taken outside for ball 2. Fastball just misses. And the count all even now. It's Aiden Dill on deck, then Taylor Belza and Gabriel Rivera should it get that far. Runner on second, 1 out here in the top of the 6th inning. Here comes the 2-2. Swing and a miss, he got him out in front of that one, and strikeout number 5 on the season for Matthew Helmer. It's a much needed one right there as it's out number 2, and it brings up Aiden Dill.
Now batting number 32, Aiden Dill.
One thing that Amsterdam does like to do is they like to pinch hit. Haven't seen it yet in this game, but it's going to probably happen soon. First pitch on Aiden Dill. Taken outside, low and away for ball 1. Dill, a Seton Hall sophomore out of Gladstone, New Jersey. He's had 2 hits against Boonville so far this PGCBL summer. One of them a home run. Here's the next pitch. That one in the dirt, and the runner gunning for third. Throw is not in time by Lawrence. That one looked really close, but ultimately the advantage given to the runner Houghton, who nabs a bag right there. So runner on third, 2 outs here for Dill. It was Tyler Figueroa who grounded out to start the inning, then Houghton, who singled, would come around to steal second and third. As here's the next pitch. Down low in the dirt. 3-0 the count now. Then it was Ezel who struck out, and now Aiden Dill ahead 3-0 in this count. Dill does lead the team in walks with 22. Had a hit by pitch earlier in this game. As here's the 3-0. That one in there for a called strike, fastball right down the middle. But Dill has been effectively getting on. He's got over a 500 on-base percentage with also over a 700 slugging. A lot of power in that bat. Here's the 3-1. And that one hits him in the back. Ultimately the same effect as a walk. And not happy at that one. Second hit by pitch in a row for Dill, who's not too pleased, just as the first one was. And it brings up Taylor Belzo with runners on the corners. So hit by pitch number 4 on the day for this Boonville team. It brings up Taylor Belza, the catcher, who has to unbuckle the shin guards that he put on. And it looks like he's going to be pinch hit for here. It's going to be Brady Mills, the other catching substitution.
Now batting number 28, Brady Mills.
Here's the first offering, that one above the head as the runner goes from first, but there will be no throw from Lawrence, who had to stand up and turn around to grab that one. Dill over there at second now with James Houghton over at third, and there's going to be time called here by Oliver Lawrence to check on his pitcher. So it's Brady Mills, who's got a .250 average on the season in 15 games played, 4 hits, one of them a home run for 4 RBI as well. Lawrence ready for the next one. It's a 1-ball, no strike count to Mills right here. Here's the pitch. Swung on and hit to the left side. This one picked up by Swangam. Long throw from the outfield grass and in time to Carson Beatty to get him for out number 3. Matthew Helmer allows 2 to get on, but keeps it to just to no runs here in this top of the 6th inning. That's going to do it for the Lumberjacks as they head to the bottom of the 6th. We'll be right back on the other side of the break on the Boonville Radio Network after this. Bottom of the 6th inning, it's Ian Farber, the extra hitter, to lead it off for the Lumberjacks. Still Grant Nicholson out there on the mound for the Mohawks, who came into this game leading the team in strikeouts. Hasn't been able to get one yet. Here's the first pitch on Ian Farber. Swings and fouls that one to the backstop. 0-1 the count. It's already been 2 innings of work for Nicholson. Has surrendered 2 runs as well. 0-1 the count on Farber. Here comes the pitch. Swung on and hit right back to the pitcher's mound. Nicholson's got it and throws it over to first. Mello's got it for out number 1. And that is the first out of the inning. News from the Swingman Classic as well, as it's Boonville's own Kanias Davis getting an at-bat in that game. Just had a hard line out to short to end the top of the 6th inning. It was a ball that he absolutely pieced over there. Ultimately an out. We'll keep you updated on how many at-bats and how Davis does, whether he plays the field. But we've got Noah Reed up. Here's the first pitch. Taken low and away. That one in the dirt, and 1-0 the count. It's Reed who struck out and reached on an error in his last plate appearance. Ahead 1-0 here. The delivery from Nicholson. Checks on that one. They'll say he did go, and the count 1-1 now. Some more movement in the Amsterdam bullpen as well, as the Boonville bullpen has stayed quiet. Only Mason Michael heading back there for the Lumberjacks, but a lot of movement down there, down that left field line for the Mohawks. One and one the count on the right fielder Reed. Nicholson delivers. That one low and away, another ball in the dirt, and the count moves to 2-1. Reed came into today batting .316 in 12 games played, a .357 on-base percentage. Looking to extend and get that higher, as here's the 2-1. That one in there for a called strike on Reed. Got to be careful to avoid the strikeout yet again. Had one looking earlier on in this game to start the bottom of the 2nd. Went down on 3 pitches. And he's down 2-2 here. Nicholson ready for the pitch. Here it comes. Checks on that one. It's in the dirt and gets away from Mills, excuse me. But that one, they'll say he did not go. Count runs full. Defensive substitutions for the Mohawks. It's Mills behind the dish now for Belza, and Jordan Perry out in right field for Andrew Ezel. 3-2 the count on Reed. Here's the payoff pitch. That one down low in the dirt, and Reed draws the walk, so that's just his 3rd walk on the year. But however you can get him, you can take him, and that means Carson Beatty at the plate now.
Now batting for the Lumberjacks, number 36.
So Carson Beatty, who has singled and flown out to left here in this game, stands in now from the left side. Left-handed hitting, right-handed fielding first baseman out of Kalamazoo College. Here's the first pitch. Takes a fastball high and away for ball 1. Beatty played in the first game versus Amsterdam this year. Was 0 for 3 with the strikeout and ground out. Picked back by Nicholson is not in time. It gets away from the first baseman Mello, and Reed is breaking for second. He's going to be in there standing and makes a big turn, but ultimately will stop right there, as the long throw to third is going to be picked up by the pitcher Nicholson. So a runner in scoring position, just 1 out here for Carson Beatty. As time going to be called here. Noah Reed kneeling down at first, and the pitcher Nicholson messing with his pants. Both appear to be okay, however. One to know the count on Beatty. He's got 2 strikeouts in his last 3 games, but avoided it in the last contest against Utica last night. Avoided it here today as well. And looking for hit number 2 on the day. Here's the 1-0. Takes that one down low. 2 balls, no strikes the count now. Beatty has been a patient hitter, as there's going to be time called by the catcher Mills. Going to talk things over with Nicholson here and maybe just give some more time for the bullpen to get warm. Long, lengthy discussion here as it's Beatty who has been walking a lot. He's got 3 walks in his last 4 games, 8 total, and just 26 at-bats on the year. He's kind of a pull hitter, likes to slap the ball, lots of popped up singles, jam shots. That's his game despite being a 6'5", 240-pound first baseman. Small ball is how he does it. Also played first base out at Kalamazoo College, the D3 MIAA school over in Michigan. Only had 6 appearances for the college, was 0 for 3 with 1 strikeout, but projects to take a step up in the depth chart next year. Came down to Boonville to just get some at-bats and get ready for that challenge. And he's waiting for the 2-0 here. Nicholson stares down the runner before firing, another one in the dirt. Mills picks it up yet again. And 3-0 the count now. Did have a slap shot single in the game last night against Utica as well as a walk. Would love to work another one right here. The 3-0. Taken low and away, and that is going to be a 4-pitch walk right there for Beatty. So runners on first and second now for the left fielder Harrison Haig.
Now batting for the Boonville Lumberjacks, number 18, Harrison Haig.
So it's Haig who's flown out and grounded out into a double play here tonight. At the plate now with 2 runners on, just 1 out here in this bottom of the 6th inning. Good opportunity for the Lumberjacks to crawl back in this one. It's still 9-4. They're down by 5, but could change with a big inning right here. Nicholson ready for the first delivery. Here it is. That one down low in the dirt yet again, and a 5th straight ball delivered right there to Harrison Haig. Nicholson did lead this team in strikeouts with 28, has still failed to get one, and has been struggling with the command. Here comes the 1-0. Swung on and hit to the backstop. This one just over our booth behind home plate, and the count moves to 1-1. Haig played in that Utica game last night, had a single in the 9th inning, but ultimately couldn't come around to score the tying run. Time called by him now. Steps out and waits to get back in there. The warm-ups down in that Amsterdam bullpen still ramping up down there, as it looks to be Nicholson who will be done after this inning. The 1-1 taken up high for strike 2. Haig would love another RBI right now. He's only got 1 this season. It was a sac fly a couple weeks ago. 1 runner on scoring position, another on first. The Aussie awaits the 1-2. Here it is. Swings and hits this one high, backhand out of play for strike 2. Count remains 1-2 on him. Haig hasn't played against Amsterdam yet this season. Was on the bench for both of those previous games, but getting his first run at them here at Hanson Aggregates Field. He's ready for the 1-2. Here it comes. Swing and a miss out in front of that one. And that is strike 3 and out number 2 on Harrison Haig, and up comes the what will be freshman catcher Oliver Lawrence.
Now batting for the Lumberjacks, number 33, Oliver Lawrence.
Already 8 strikeouts by this Lumberjack lineup through just under 6 innings of play. It's Oliver Lawrence looking to avoid number 9 and get something going. Here's the first offering. taken away. Fastball misses outside, and the count moves to 1-0. Lawrence 1 for 2 on the day. He had a single in the third inning and ultimately popped out in his last at-bat to second base. The 1-0 on the way from Nicholson. Taken inside, but that one called a strike. Lawrence doesn't agree with it, but the count 1-1. Nicholson looks back before delivering. Another ball inside. This one called for ball 2, and 2-1 the count now. Lawrence has 2 doubles in his last 3 games. There is only 2 extra base hits on the season. I would love to keep adding more right here. Double might score 2 with premier speed on the base paths. Here's the 2-1. Taken in there for a called strike 2. 2-2 the count now. He's got just 1 RBI on the season. It was a sac fly in the last game against Glens Falls on July 8th. Two on the way. Away, and the count moves to 3-2. So payoff pitch looming on Lawrence, who's got just 1 walk on the season. Certainly would be a good time for number 2, as it's going to be time called right now by the catcher Mills, giving the sign to his infield. If he can draw the walk right here, it'll be a bases-loaded opportunity for Devon Abaga, who had a home run in his game last night against Utica. But still got to get through Lawrence. Nicholson ready for the 3-2. Here it comes. Checks on that one right down the middle, and a called third strike for Oliver Lawrence. That will end the bottom of the 6th inning. They leave 2 stranded, 1 on first, 1 on second, and they continue to trail by 5 runs. It's 9-4 heading into the 7th inning. We'll be right back on the Boonville Sports Network after this. Gabriel Rivera out there to face Matthew Helmer Jr. in his 3rd inning of work here in the top of the 7th inning. It's 9-4 Amsterdam on top by 5 runs. First pitch is down low on Rivera. One ball, no strikes the count on the third baseman. Here's the next pitch. That one hits him in the back. Off speed, got away from Helmer right there. And Christian Griffin going to make sure that the bullpen is ready for anything potentially happening here.
Now batting number 35, Robert Mello.
So hit by pitch number 5 on the day for the Boonville Lumberjacks, and brings up Robert Mello, the first baseman, stands in from the left side as the runner goes from first. Throw over by Lawrence is not in time, as Rivera's in there safe with the stolen base. Didn't waste any time at all to go on Helmer Jr. right there, and runner in scoring position already with no outs for the home run leader in the PGCBL, Robert Mello. Here's the 1-0. Takes that one up high. 2 balls, no strikes, the count. Mello out of the University of Delaware. He's committed to play there after playing at West Point last year and Hudson Valley Community College his freshman year. Here's the next pitch. Swung on and fouled off of Oliver Lawrence, the catcher. 2-1 the count. He's made up for lost time here in the PGCBL, though, with a .452 average and a .510 on base percentage. 7 home runs and 33 RBIs on the season for the 6'1" first baseman. Here's the 2-1. Taken up high for ball 3. So 3-1 the count on Mello, who has drawn the walk at an effective rate. He's got 10 on the season, including 1 today, as well as a hit by pitch. On the brink of another one right here. Here's the 3-1. That one taken outside, and they pitch around him for the second time in a row. So Mello on with his second walk of the day, and it brings up Anthony DeCesare. And it's actually going to be another pinch hitter for the Amsterdam Mohawks. Chris McLaughlin, the two-way player, pitcher, and hitter, stands in there now. He's played in 24 games. He's got 52 at-bats with a .404 batting average. He's also come in to pitch with a 0 ERA in just 2 innings so far for the Mohawks.
Chris McLaughlin.
So the substitutions coming in early for this team as he shows bunt, pulls back on it, but that's in there for a called strike. The first baseman, Beatty, coming in as fast as he could on that one. So 0-1 the count now on DeCesare. Here's the next pitch as the runners go from first and second. That one a throw into left field by the catcher Lawrence, and 1 run will score. Coming around there is the runner Gabriel Rivera, who walked to start this inning. He's in there safely, and Robert Mello in there safe at third. So McLaughlin still stands in from the right side. It's a 1-1 count from Helmer. 10-4 the score. Here's the pitch. Down low in the dirt. Lawrence does block it this time, though, and count moves to 2-1. Two and 1 the count. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss out in front of that one, and Helmer's evened it up 2-2. McLaughlin has struck out 8 times in 52 at-bats so far this year. Has struggled with that slightly, but looking to keep it down here. 2-2 the count on Helmer. He's hunting for his second K. Here's the pitch. Just up high for ball 3. Still battling out there is Helmer. He's got no outs here in this inning. It's 3-0. 3-2 the count, on McLaughlin. Runner on third, no outs. Here's the delivery. Swung on and hit high to the infield, though. This one in shallow left, and coming in is Harrison Haig. He's going to make the catch, and that is going to be shallow enough. Mello can't tag for home, and a crucial out right there by Matthew Helmer Jr.
Up to bat, number 10, Brandon McCrane.
So the next batter, Brandon McCrane, he's going to stay in this one. Not going to be substituted out. He's already hunting for the cycle here today. Single, double, and triple so far for McCrane. It was his brother, Mason, who started the game. And now the other McCrane brother a home run away from the cycle. Here's the first offering. Takes that one up high for strike one. Certainly going to be hunting for the fences here. Has just one home run on the season, but in his year with Auburn, was able to put up one as well. Here's the 0-1. Swung on and hit off of the catcher's mask of Oliver Lawrence. Certainly taking big hacks here, but he's already down 0-2. Did have a single in that game against Socrates last night, as well as a strikeout and a flyout. Down 0-2, here's the pitch. Down low in the dirt, thinks about going on that one, but pulls back on it. And the count 1-2 now as Lawrence collects and throws back to the pitcher, Helmer. Looks to be Mason Michael out in the bullpen for the Boonville Lumberjacks. He's probably the next man up in this situation. It's 10-4. Here's the 1-2. Swung on and hit high into left field. Haig is running back on this one, but he's underneath it to make the catch. Runs in and tries to get Mello at home, but far too deep as it's going to be a sac fly right there for Brandon McCrane. So still technically 3 for 3. Could stay in this game and hunt for that cycle, but for now it's Evan Taylor with 2 outs, bases clear.
Evan Taylor.
Second RBI of the day for McCrane and brings up the left fielder Taylor, who is 1 for 3 with a double, 2 flyouts as well. First pitch is swung on and hit high to the infield. This one in shallow right. Abaga's got to turn around, but ultimately coming in and making the catch is the right fielder Will Hill. Defensive substitution right there for the Lumberjacks. Went under the radar for us, but that is out number 3. So Lumberjacks keep it at 1. Score still 11-4, however, as we head to the bottom of the 7th. We'll be right back on the Lumberjacks Sports Network after this. So defensive substitution on the other side of the break was Will Hill coming in for Bronx Lewis. It's going to be Noah Reed moving over to center. Will Hill would be due up fourth in the inning if it gets that far, but first it's Devon Ibaga, the second baseman, up to lead off here in this top of the seventh. First pitch is to the backstop. That one, a little bit of a wild pitch right there, and the count moves to 1-0. Here's pitch number 2. Carothers fires that one into the dirt yet again. It's the new pitcher in the game, Kyle Ackert, for the Amsterdam Mohawks. 10.8 ERA, as here comes the 2-0. Swung on and hit high. This one popped up to the infield, however. Coming into the infield dirt and making the catch is Houghton for out number 1. So it's Ackert who gets the first out on the first batter. It's 13 1/3 innings pitched for Ackert with a 10.8 ERA. Leads the team in runs allowed with 17, 16 of them earned. That's also the highest on the team. 11 hits, 15 walks, and 13 strikeouts for the righty. Here's the first pitch. Taken outside for a strike by Elijah Negron. Negron so far today has walked twice as well as striking out looking in the bottom of the third inning. Here's the 0-1, taken down low in the dirt, 1-1. We've seen Negron kind of go up and down this season. Was the A-Town Bats hitter of the week after starting the season 0 for 10, cooled off, and now is getting back into it as the 1-1 swing and a miss on a pitch that was in the other batter's box. He's got 4 hits in his last 4 games. He's been better, striking out in none of his last 2 appearances. And he's got 2 walks as well here today. Here's the 1-2. That one down low in the dirt, 2-2 the count. Comes into the game batting .228 with 13 hits, 4 of them home runs. He's had just 1 since the second week of the season, as here's the 2-2. That one nearly hits him, gets out of the way, and the payoff pitch looms now. Negron looking for walk number 3 if this one's outside. Could also be strikeout number 2. Here comes the delivery. Down low in the dirt, and he draws the walk, so Negron on base for the 3rd time today and brings up Masai Marshall.
Now batting for the Lumberjacks, number 28, Masai Marshall.
It's the most walks that Negron has had in a game all season long, and brings up Marshall, who has struck out and had a 2-run homer in his last plate appearance. Was the first long ball and 8th RBI of the year, as here's the first pitch, nearly hits him, ducks out of the way, and the count moves to 1-0. Marshall calls time to calm it down. He's got 5 hits in his last 4 games, including tonight. He's been on a tear as of late out of the DH spot. Ready for the 1-0. Here it comes. Has to move out of the way of that fastball yet again, inside on him, and the count moves to 2-0. Marshall leads this team in triples with 2. Had them in back-to-back games a couple of weeks ago. He's ready for the 2-0. Down low in the dirt yet again, the fastball misses, and 3-0 the count now. Ackert has struggled with the command to start off this game. He's got 15 walks in 5 games played so far this season. Surprisingly tied for the team lead with Sam Falaise as that next pitch in there for strike 1. Now with that walk on Negron, leads the team in that category and is on the verge of walking Marshall. Here's the 3-1. Hits this one right up the middle, bounces off the pitcher's mound, taking for 1, and Houghton gets him all by himself. A double play to end the inning. Houghton tags second on his own, and throws over to first to end it. Boonville don't leave any stranded off the double play. It's 11-4 heading into this 8th inning. We'll be right back on the Lumberjacks Sports Network after this. Mason Michael, the new man out on the mound for the Lumberjacks. That means that Matthew Helmer Jr.'s day is done out on the mound. 3 innings pitched with 2 hits, no walks, and 2 earned runs allowed for the right-hander out of Penn State Beaver. But it's Mason Michael now out of Defiance College. Comes into this game with a 10.13 ERA and 2 2/3 innings pitched across 2 appearances. His last one was his strongest, however. That was by far the best that we've seen him in a Lumberjacks uniform so far this year. He's had limited opportunities, but really has made that last one count. The 10.13 ERA doesn't really show it, but in that last appearance it was against the Glens Falls Dragons. Had just 1 inning pitched, but only 1 hit and 1 earned run with 2 strikeouts. Was dealing in that game. Ultimately kept it close for what could have been a game-tying double by Will Hill in the bottom of the 9th inning that was called foul. And that would have been the ball game. They would go on to lose that one 10-8, and that would be their 8th loss in a row. Now they're 9 straight, looking to avoid 10 here tonight. And Mason Michael out there tasked with keeping this one at least close. The one positive for the Lumberjacks is this is the first time all season that they have gone into an 8th inning with the Amsterdam Mohawks. It's been just 2 mercy rules in 2 games against the Mohawks coming into today for Boonville, but they've held their own out here, putting up 4 runs and only allowing Amsterdam to put up 11, which sounds like a lot, but for what is the best lineup in the PGCBL, East or West, this really is a compliment towards this Boonville pitching staff. It was Lo Wen Shing who came out and had 3 really strong innings before what was a disappointing 4th, and then Matthew Helmer, who's kept it close with 2 earned runs in 3 innings. Now Mason Michael out there to try and keep it close. Here's the first pitch. That one, a fastball taken outside. It's Tyler Figueroa, the second baseman, in there now for the Mohawks. 1 for 2 on the day with a double sac fly and a ground out. Here's the 1-0. Swung on and hit into center field. That one's going to get down for a single. Reed picks it up and gets it to the infield, but the second hit of the day for Tyler Figueroa, and it brings up the shortstop, James Houghton. So 1 batter, 1 hit right there, but a little bit of soft contact, just a looper into center field. And it brings up Houghton now, who has only reached in his last plate appearance, 1 for 3 with a single. Mason Michael ready to face the lefty. Here's the first offering, pick back, and not in time. Figueroa just reached out the toe to get back in there safely. And now here comes the first pitch on Houghton. Swings and hits this one over the fence down that left field line. Foul and out of play. 0-1 the count. Michael, in consecutive appearances, has been a lot better. His first was against Glens Falls in the second game, the doubleheader, where he gave away 3 runs. Next appearance, 2 runs. The final one, 1 run. Now comes into today. Here's the 0-1. Swung on and hit high, basically to the same spot. Left field out of play, and the count 0-2 now. One fold of the performance that we did see last time from Michael was the strikeout. Had 2 of his 3 recorded outs were via the punch-out. And that is certainly not something we'd seen from him before, but something he's been trying to unlock with head coach Christian Griffin, as he's got Houghton down 0-2. Pick back again, not in time, as Figueroa sticks out the leg yet again. So 0-2 still the count. Houghton just kind of being iced down there in the left half of the batter's box. Here comes the 0-2. That one in there for a called third strike. Houghton watched that curveball go right down the middle. And punch out number 3 on the season for Mason Michael. Nifty off speed right there. We talk about it so often that a lot of these hitters are seeing 90, 96, 94 day in and day out. And when you throw Mason Michael out there, a guy that's not throwing as fast, but still with very effective command, some of these hitters just don't get it. First pitch on the right fielder Perry is in there for a called strike. Fastball just clips the upper outside part of the zone. It's Jordan Perry, who struck out in his only previous appearance today after pinch hitting. Here's the 0-1. That one just up high for ball 1. Another fastball misses. Perry takes a .371 average into this game with 26 hits, 7 of them for extra bases. The 1-1 is way outside. Curveball got away from Michael right there, but Lawrence able to corral it in. 2-1 the count. (18 RBI), 13 strikeouts on the year for Perry, who added 1 more. As here's the next pitch. That one broken bat up the middle. Tag the bag by Swangam. Throw over to first is in time, and the double play right there ends the inning. Mason Miller only faces 3 in the top of the 8th inning and goes to the bottom of the 8th, keeping it clean. It's still 11-4, Boonville trailing by 7. We'll be right back on the Boonville Sports Network after this. Will Hill out here is first AB of the day, and he starts off the bottom of the 8th inning. It's still Kyler Ackert out there for the Amsterdam Mohawks out on the mound.
Batting for the Boonville Lumberjacks, number 7, Will Hill.
was able to force the double play at the end of that top or bottom of the 7th as the first delivery taken outside as the catcher Mills drops that one. Did allow the single there in that last inning. As here's the first pitch, taken on the outside corner for a called strike. Will Hill coming into this game did play last night as well. As here's the 1-1. Swings and hits this one to the left side. Picked up by Rivera. Throw over to first is in time. And he retires him for out number 1. Will Hill fast, but the throw faster. And brings up Zeb Swingham here.
Number 2, Zeb Swingham.
So it's Swingham who has struck out once, flown out, and walked so far in this game. Takes that one in there for a called strike 1, even though it bounces out of the glove of the catcher Mills. Swingham came into today with 2 games played against the Mohawks, had 1 hit in 5 ABs. As here's the 0-1. Takes that curveball in there for a called strike. Another one that just kind of curved in there, and Swingham disagrees with the call. So down 0-2 right here. Had 3 total strikeouts against Amsterdam, as that one in the dirt and away from Mills. All of them came in the first time that these 2 teams played, all the way back on June 12th. And looking to avoid number 4 on the season right here. The 1-2. Swings and hits this one high into left field. Going back on this one is Taylor, but he's underneath it for out number 2. So number 2 goes down for out number 2, and it brings up Ian Farber, the extra hitter.
For the Boonville Lumberjacks, number 31, Ian Farber.
It's Farber who has reached on an error, struck out, and grounded out so far today. Stands in from the left side. Here's the first pitch. Takes that fastball at the upper corner. High and away for strike 1. Here's the next pitch. That one away again. Fastball misses this time, though. 1-1 the count. Ackert, a quick pitcher. We've seen this in previous appearances against Boonville, where he does not waste any time out on the mound. Already in the windup for pitch number 3. Swing and a miss there from Farber out in front of that one, and quickly down 1-2. That's one of Ackert's biggest strengths, is just speeding up the AB and just getting ahead of hitters. Here's the 1-2. That fastball outside. 2-2 the count, all even now. And we see it a lot of times, especially with some of these batters that just aren't really used to having them quick pitched. As here's the 1-2. Swung on and chopped to the pitcher's mound, but that one foul. That one hit off of Farber in the batter's box, and the count remains 2-2. Farber hasn't seen the Mohawks so far this season. Been on the bench for both of those games as a pitcher and as a hitter. Already's reached base once, looking for number 2. The 2-2. Swing and a miss out in front of that one, and that is out number 3. Ackert sets them down 1-2-3 here in this bottom of the 8th, and we'll head to the 9th. Lumberjacks down by 7 runs. It's 11-9 with 1 last inning. We'll be right back on the Boonville Sports Network after this. Aiden Dill, the center fielder, out here to start this top of the 9th inning for the Mohawks. It's 11-4 in this 9th inning against the Boonville Lumberjacks. Still Mason Michael out there on the mound to deal with the heart of this order. It's 2-3-4 at least that Michael will have to face, and there's no movement in the bullpen. This is his game to finish. First pitch on Dill. Taken outside, fastball for ball 1. Dill so far today has been hit by a pitch in both of his last 2 at-bats and grounded and flew out to start the game. Want to know the count on him here. Mason Michael's ready. Here is the pitch. Swung on and hit high into right field. Back on this one is Will Hill, and on the track makes the catch. A long out right there to start this top of the 9th inning for Mason Michael, but he gets it done, and it brings up the pinch hitter, Brady Mills. That was a loud one off the bat down there, but luckily stayed in the ballpark for out number 1, and now brings up Brady Mills, the substitution catcher. Here comes the first offering from Michael. Swung on and hit to the left side. This one picked up by Negron. Long throw is in time. From the knees, that Zeb Swangam over there makes the throw, and that is out number 2. So Gabriel Rivera, the third baseman, is what could be the last batter of this game for the Mohawks. He's been on base twice today, single and a hit by pitch, also with 2 ground outs in this game. Here's the first pitch. Swung on and hit high down the left field line. That one way out of play, however. Strike 1. Rivera played in the Socrates game, this team's last PGCBL matchup, and had a double and a walk in 3 plate appearances. Here comes the 0-1. Swung on and hit high into left field. Back on this one is the left fielder Haig, and he makes... Oh, and he dropped it! That one off the glove of Harrison Haig. Rivera caught him between first and second, and sliding in there. Out! Out at second base! Rivera didn't bother to slide, and it cost him. And that is out number 3 of this top of the 9th inning. Not exactly how they drew it up, but they get out number 3 regardless. Mason Michael only has to face 3 in the top of the 9th, and they go to the bottom of the 9th down 7. It's 11-4, Lumberjacks trailing. We head to the bottom of the 9th after this. Noah Reed, Carson Beatty, and Harrison Haig, the only three batters guaranteed to bat in this inning as the Boonville Lumberjacks chase the Amsterdam Mohawks by 7 runs here in this bottom of the 9th inning. Here's the first pitch on Reed. That one, fastball that runs inside for ball 1. It's still Kyler Ackert out there on the mound for the Mohawks. He's gone 3 innings so far, hasn't surrendered a run yet. He's ready for the 1-0. Here it is. That one in there for a called strike 1. Off speed down the middle of the plate. It's Noah Reed in there for the Lumberjacks. He's walked, struck out, and reached on an error by the shortstop Houghton. Next pitch, checks on that one. They'll say he did not go, and that one down low in the dirt. 2-1 the count. Reed fighting here. He's been swinging a hot bat as of late, but needs to get something started. As here's the 2-1. Swung on and hit into shallow right field. That one going to be caught by the second baseman, though. Figueroa gets a glove on it, and that is out number 1 for the first baseman, Carson Beatty.
Now batting for the Lumberjacks, number 36, Carson Beatty.
So Beatty, who has singled, walked, and flown out to left field so far today, steps in on the left side. Slap hitting first baseman. Here's the first offering. Chops this one foul to the Boonville dugout. 0-1 the count. Came into this game batting .192 with a .382 on base percentage. The disparity is because he likes to draw the walk. He's got 9 of them on the year, including 1 earlier today. As here's the 0-1. Swings and fouls that one off of his inner leg. Looks like it caught the back leg of him. And the count quickly 0-2 on him. Does strike out quite a bit as well. He's got 8 of those in 10 games played, but looking to avoid another one. The 0-2 on the way. Swing and a miss on that one. Fastball in the other batter's box, and Beatty goes down swinging in 3 pitches. It brings up the left fielder Harrison Haig, and Boonville down to their final out.
Up to bat for the Boonville Lumberjacks, number 18.
A familiar story for Boonville. Nearly everyone in the Boonville lineup has struck out today. It's only Zeb Swangham that has not gone down by punch-out as the first pitch swung to the left side, picked up by Houghton. Throw over to first is in time, and that is the ball game. Boonville Lumberjacks dropped this one by a final score of 11-4. And that is the 10th game in a row that Boonville have fallen in. Came into the day tied with the Niagara Falls Americans for the longest losing streak in the PGCBL. The Americans in the Western Division, however, and that is number 10 for the Lumberjacks. They continue to go down in the PGCBL East playoff race. Now 15 games back from first and 7 games out of a playoff spot. It looks unlikely, but this team has gone on runs before, ripped off 5 in a row in the middle of the season with a healthy team and a good pitching staff. It could happen again, but it's been a rough going for this ball club. The silver lining, this is the first time they've played a full 9-inning game against the Mohawks without getting mercy ruled. It wasn't pretty at times, and really, it was just a blow-up inning by Lo Wen Shing. It was the top of the 4th inning where they surrendered 6 runs. That would prove to be the difference. That was really the one that knocked them out of this ball game, and that would be the difference in this game. It's 10 straight losses for the Boonville Lumberjacks, and the Mohawks get back into the win column. They had lost their last game and continue to put themselves in first place in the PGCBL East. Updates from the Swingman Classic, though, however. Boonville's own Kanias Davis should be up right now. It's the bottom of the 9th inning. Davis in a crucial position out here to face Bobby Spencer, the senior from Southern University. I'll just go ahead and narrate this Kanias Davis at bat for you as well, as Ken Griffey Jr. is out there on the field at Citizen Banks Park. It's a 6-1 scoreline as the team that Davis is on is losing here in the bottom of the 9th inning. The American League down quite a lot the National League down quite a lot to the American League. As there's Davis wearing the baby blue jersey with the red number 3 on the back. Gets a custom HBCU All-American helmet that he gets to bring back to Boonville. Hopefully we'll see that very soon. But he steps in here. He's 0 for 1 on the day. Popped up to second base on what was a ball that he ultimately smoked, but couldn't find any grass. So steps in here in this bottom of the 9th inning. Obviously, we talked to him yesterday about this, and he said this is an experience that he will not forget for quite a long time. Steps in, here comes the first pitch. Swing and a miss on that one. Fastball blown by him just on the outside quarter, 89 miles an hour. Devo! It's Ken Griffey Jr. in the National League dugout, chatting it up with those players, but Davis still out on batting in this one. Stands in from the right side, the 0-1 on the way. That one down low, skips in the dirt. 1-1 the count. It's very special, he said, to go play in this game. Obviously at Alcorn State, but transferring to FAMU, another HBCU. Going to play more ball, hopefully another selection in the works for him next year. But playing with the Lumberjacks this summer. There comes the 1-1 on Kenais Davis. Swings through that one, curveball just clips the lower part of the zone, and he's quickly down 1-2. Davis has been hot at the plate with the Lumberjacks this season, .440 on-base percentage with 9 hits, including 5 RBIs and 10 walks. Hasn't gotten one in the Swingman Classic, but here comes the 1-2. That one, fastball away from the pitcher, and the count moves all even 2-2 now. Must be special for him playing in a major league ballpark over there in Philadelphia. He's set to fly back to Boonville tomorrow. We're not sure if he will be playing in that Oneonta game, as it would be quite a travel for him to get from the airport. Fouls off the 2-2 to the right side, stays alive. Does have a calming presence over him, however. Even in a major league ballpark, looks to be as calm and cool as ever. 2-2 the count. Here comes the delivery. Swings and hits this one foul on the right side, this time into the stands. And it is a packed stadium down there for the Swingman Classic. Lots of fans out there enjoying the ballpark. Still staying alive in this one. Pitch number 6 of the at-bat coming up right here, as a young fan got that souvenir. Pitch number 7 on the way from the pitcher. Taken outside, and he stays alive. Count runs full now on that 88-mile-an-hour fastball. Takes a look at the bat. Looks to be a new one for him. That's definitely not the bat that he's swinging down here in Boonville. Still an all-wood bat, though. So he's got the practice in. Ready for the payoff pitch. Here it comes. Swings and fouls that one off yet again. Continues to stay alive. And it's a very, very big deficit for the National League team that Davis is playing on. It's 6-1 right now in the bottom of the 9th inning. But Davis out there playing in the ballpark, in a major league ballpark. The stuff of dreams really out there. And just hunting it, staying alive. Here's the payoff pitch again. Takes that one outside for a called third strike on a ball that was probably 2 baseballs off the plate. That was realistically ball 4. I wish they had ABS in the Swingman Classic, so unfortunately goes down looking on what should have been ball 4. But of course, everyone still proud of him down here, as we can hear some yells from the Boonville dugout. They just heard him get hosed. And that is how Kenais Davis's Swingman Game 1 will end. So we're going to wrap that up here from the Boonville Sports Network. It was an 11-4 final score. Boonville go down by 7 runs to the Amsterdam Mohawks, dropping 10 in a row and continuing to put themselves in last place in the PGCBL East. I'm Evan Simbita signing off here alongside Brady Foxwell, who you hadn't heard from the second inning, but signing off here from Hanson Aggregates Field. We hope you have a great rest of your night, and we thank you sincerely for sticking with us here on the Boonville Lumberjacks YouTube page. There will be an away game in Oneonta tomorrow. We will have a broadcast for you here radio style on the YouTube. That will be a 7 p.m. start time, and we'll keep you posted. Make sure to follow our Instagram and Facebook at Boonville Lumberjacks for more updates. That's going to do it for tonight. 11-4 your final, and we sign off from Hanson Aggregates. Have a great rest of your night, everyone.